The views, information, or opinions expressed during the Geeks Under the Influence podcast are solely those of the individuals involved and do not necessarily represent those of RVA Magazine, Loot Crate, amzn.to, or their employees. Listener discretion is advised. Fuck off if you don't like it. Recently, a good friend of mine, my buddy Ali, who I didn't think about when I was doing when we were stacking the episodes with panelists.
He's a huge fan.
We went to see Stephen King up in DC after on a book release. It's a 2-hour Q&A.
Nice.
The ticket bought you admission, plus you got a copy of the hardback of the Revival, which was the book he was touring on for at the time, which is pretty cool. Like 2 hour, you didn't do that often, so being able to see him at least once in person. You know, asking questions for 2 hours, you know.
Absolutely.
He looks a little rough, though. He's old, man. He's looking a little rough. He's been in a car accident that pretty much broke him. So,
well, definitely broke his writing.
I just saw a video online.
Well, apparently he's picked back up, according to Myke.
Yeah, I would say take that back. Lisi's story was one of his finest works ever. Full Dark, No Stars from a couple years ago. Just absolutely fantastic.
I did read that part of that, yeah.
Was that good?
11/22/63 was great, too.
Yeah.
And I think that came out afterwards, didn't it?
So did Joyland.
Yeah.
Joyland was good.
Okay.
Honestly, he's darker and more apocalyptic than he's ever been before as a writer. The Mr. Mercedes trilogy is
I need to read that.
Awesome.
I
need to get on.
I just need to see whatever he's writing after Trump became president, because it's a few months dark and apocalyptic. I mean,
So
seeing him on Twitter with his responses to Trump, he got blocked by Trump on Twitter.
Oh yes,
I remember seeing that. So how does that affect the adaptations moving forward? I mean, obviously, like Dark Tower looks like they really took it seriously. You know, unlike things like Stand By Me and those type of films, or The Green Mile, like this is something completely different. Where usually, in my narrow scope and what I've grown up with, have always been done fairly poorly.
Mm-hmm.
So how does that affect it moving forward? If he's gone darker, is that his tone taken more seriously by studios?
I think a lot of his stuff is taken way more seriously now, or it's more mainstream, the type of storytelling that he does. I mean, you go back to like Green Mile and a few things like that as well, but there are so many groups that are self-sufficient now too that can do the same quality than a lot of the Hollywood things.
Yeah, Netflix and Hulu.
Yeah, that you don't need to sit there and beg and borrow. You can do it on your own and still...
Fans become the directors.
Exactly,
right.
yeah.
Well, and this writer has had such a long career that there's stuff he's written in the past that is now becoming even more relevant than it was when it came out. Like, you look at The Dead Zone, for an example.
Oh, yeah.
As far as, like,
Yes.
the president and stuff. I would love to see, like, a Trump character in the remake of The Dead Zone, but he picks up, like, was it the head of the GOP and holds him in front of him instead of the baby. It's like, no, don't shoot me. Or like Ivanka. I'm like, no, stop it.
Well, I mean, like the vision he has is him, you know, dropping bombs, so it's not far fetched.
Yeah,
like,
no,
it's pretty much on the nose what you know he would be stopping. So
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
you know.
You see Bernie Sanders with a sniper rifle up in
Yes,
Yes.
yes,
So much yes.
or Gary Johnson, one of the two.
You got to have,
I'll take
someone
Gary
have
Johnson on that
a
one.
scope on his ass too from behind, and just have it be like a hierarchy of people trying to knock each other off.
Like those Russian dolls.
It's gonna be like
opening another one.
Exactly.
Another one.
It's like, pop, pop. It'll be like people mistaking it for a line to the bathroom, and it's just like Hillary and like all the Democratic Party members just like standing in line with their various high-powered rifles. And somebody that ultra left that just has a taser would be like, I don't believe in guns.
And then a new government was built, and there could be a Stephen King story. It's
Run
just
by
weird
apes.
enough.
And that's how Planet of the Apes started. That's how it
Run by
no.
apes.
All right. Oh my
All right.
God.
Only dress in Armani.
We got to get this started. Thank you guys so much for joining us yet again for another episode of Geeks Under the Influence. This is episode 113, 13 being very appropriate for our subject matter this evening. We are talking all things Stephen King film and TV adaptations. So we're going to be talking about the miniseries on TV, the made-for-TV movies, the high-budget films and the not-so-high-budget films, the good, the bad, and the definitely ugly in some regards. Stephen King, Langoliers. Stephen King.
Little meatballs with teeth.
Yes.
So we're going to be covering all that and more on this episode of Geeks Under the Influence. Welcome.
Under the Influence.
We've been planning this episode for
to fix it.
a while, like before there was even a knowledge of there being a Dark Tower movie that they were making.
Yeah, this has been like in my head.
This
for a
is
very long
like
time.
definitely Steven's wheelhouse right here. This is like kind of the top of your wheelhouse here.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
I was about to say, even some of the earlier episodes I was on, there was always talk of we got to do Stephen King something. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm more than happy that we are finally getting this dealt with. And
Truth.
when I started doing research for this, I started really realizing how many short stories and books have been adapted into TV movies or TV series or the like.
Yeah, I took my daughter to Barnes & Noble the other weekend, and I went to the Stephen King section to see if they had something. And I like the large trade paperbacks. I don't like the fucking short little stocky books. They're just a pain in the ass to read. So I was looking for something newer that they had in that size, and we're going through the books, and she saw The Dark Tower. She's like, oh yeah, I seen the trailer for this. I'm like, yeah. She's like, how many of his books have been made into movies? And I literally just go out and point them all out. And there was like 2 books I didn't touch. Seriously, like for what they had in stock, I was just like that. I opened up a short story book and was like that, and like she's like, really? I'm like, yeah. He's been doing this for a while. He's been doing this for a while, man.
Speaking of people that have been doing this for a while, one of our longtime panelists, I think, came in on the Doctor Who episode.
Doctor Who was number 1 for me. Yes.
And that was early days that we did Doctor
It was
Who.
like 10?
I don't know if it was 10, but it wasn't too far.
It wasn't that far.
Maybe 20 tops, maybe.
Yeah.
It was pretty far back, the episode number.
Well, that was back in the day where sometimes we would record 2 episodes like in a week.
Yeah. Yeah,
know,
we were still
so-
trying to get the schedule down and everything.
Right.
And definitely we're far from getting our sound down at that point. But yeah, Mr. Scotty P, the portly white queequeg.
What's up?
New daddy is
Yes,
here.
yes.
Yes, the man of many nicknames. Joining for Stephen King.
So many.
Did you do any movie watch and research for this episode?
Unfortunately, with the children, not much movie watching, but definitely, looking up because, again, growing, like we were talking about outside, you grow up with like the miniseries of It, Stand, and stuff. So that does bring it back. Luckily for me, my age, it was early teens, so that initiated also to read the books and everything back then. So it was just more of going back, I remember that. The shirt, early horror stuff, Creep Show, the comics, all of that, all stemming into just really good. It was more of walking down memory lane for me at this point. Just
definitely.
Because time is not on my side right now. So,
But luckily, some of these films and TV series are so just legendary that it's not. I mean, do you really need to rewatch The Shining to know what to talk about?
Dude, I will watch Maximum Overdrive all day long.
Already with that. Jesus Christ.
I have it on VHS, sir.
Oh,
I still have it on
you're
VHS.
a good man. You're a good man, Charlie Brown.
All right, next one up on the panel is a second timer to Geeks Under the Influence. First episode was Mass Effect, I believe, right?
Yes, and thank you for having me back. Delighted to be here.
Absolutely. We discussed a little bit Stephen King last night during trivia at Wonderland, and you know your shit. So
Yeah, I'm a big fan. I've read almost all of it, with the exception of how the End of Watch trilogy closes out.
okay.
Yep.
So yeah, you're bringing some information to the table here.
yeah.
We're talking. Myke is here.
I even decided to punish myself before coming over and started watching A Good Marriage. Wow. Not good.
Not good.
No. Fantastic short story by Mr. King. Does not translate to the big screen at all.
Well, the problem is that though some of his movies are so believable, like Maximum Overdrive, but something called A Good Marriage is just not believable.
Yeah.
No, that's not.
By the way, we were talking about this last night. Maximum Overdrive, and this is my thought on it.
This is just going to be Maximum Overdrive. I'm so excited.
They the main catalyst for why the machines turn on was straight up was ripped out of Night of the Living Dead.
Oh, absolutely.
I mean, just blatantly like, oh fuck, thank you, and now they're alive.
Spoilers: mysterious comet flying by the
Yeah.
Earth.
Yeah.
That's it. That's hey.
And I would love to see the pitch meeting
Kyle.
there. It's like, did you see Night of the Living Dead? Well, it's like that, but with trucks. And they're like, sold. Like the monster trucks are really huge right now, so let's get this going.
I mean, not
let's
only
get
that.
Let's get the dude from Mighty Ducks and
That was
Yeah, that
long
was
before.
no. You're talking about like get dude
okay,
from Breakfast Club.
okay, men at work. Sorry.
There you
Yeah, and then we'll get AC/DC to do the soundtrack.
Yeah,
There we go.
Automatic ball pitchers turn on and fucking try to kill you. Lawnmowers
fuck
turn
that
on.
soda machines.
Yeah.
Soda machines.
So the machines. Terrible.
The next one up on the panel is the Dan Witch. Dan the Man is here
What's up, buddy?
to talk all things Stephen King. Did you do any research for this?
I did honestly. I haven't had any time to, man. Like I've even been trying to catch up on, just rereading the Dark Tower series in preparation for the new movie that's coming out, and I've barely even put a dent in the Gunslinger.
I can fully understand. I was chatting the other night about new series coming out or new comics that were coming out that just I don't have the time to watch, and us having a geek and pop culture related podcast, it's kind of important
yeah.
to be knowledgeable about this stuff. But I mean, just having enough time to do this is sometimes a struggle. So no, I feel you on that. But I mean, again, Stephen King's so long running. I don't think we're gonna have much trouble here.
No.
plenty of material.
Speaking of trouble, the man that breaks everything.
Hi.
The klutz of the group, but like angry klutz. Like if Hulk had an inner ear issue.
I just walked around with vertigo all the time.
Just like it's like, dude, sorry, I'm getting fingerprints on your walls. I just can't walk without touching.
Why
shit.
is the right side of your face always fucked up? That's where I hit.
Mr. Kyle Smash is here.
Hello. How is everybody?
I'm great. You're actually not super shiny today, so that's good. Just a little shiny.
Yeah?
Yeah.
That's probably that's good. That's
You're
good.
speckled.
I'm getting older. I'm losing my shine.
My shine disappeared a
my
long time
shine
ago.
faded. My glory faded.
It's a sort of a shimmer now.
Is it? It's not
shimmer.
so much of a shine. It's a shimmer.
It's a shimmer.
It's a shimmer. Well, man, oh my god.
All right, let's move on from
This is
that.
disturbing.
Yeah. Next up, of course, is my right-hand man, Mr. Lowdown Brown MacGyver's here.
What's up, guys?
The one that's been pushing to get this episode out for years at this point.
Yeah, literally plural. Yeah.
Pretty much like since the beginning that we need to do Stephen King. And
But it's fitting now.
It is.
It's really fitting now because we got 2 movies dropping this year, which hopefully will start a cycle of, more Stephen King to come out.
Yeah,
some,
absolutely.
some can stand to be remade. You know what I mean? Some, get it? Stand. To be
Oh,
remade. Yeah.
dude.
Better than yours.
True.
Again, not a high bar.
Not
No, that's true.
not by much.
No,
Yeah.
this is true. I just like to be better at him though, so it's cool.
Again, not a high bar.
That's like stepping over a broom falling on the floor. I mean,
Yeah,
That
that's
is
If
true.
you wanted to do
Actually,
that,
it's
just
like
stand
stepping
up
over
next to
an
him.
Well done, sir.
Oh, God.
Well done. Well done. All right, so yeah, the man we're shitting all over is the Hobbit. He is our host.
We love you, Hobbit.
Yeah.
Thank you so very much.
Yes,
I
yes.
am, in fact, Myke the Hobbit, host of Geeks Under the Influence. You can find me on Twitter at Mike Bickett or follow the Geeks Under the Influence Twitter at GYPodcastRVA. All of our other social media stuff is at GYPodcast.com, along with links to all of our episodes, articles written by the panelists and friends of the show. We've got links to our personal bio stuff for some of us, all sorts of stuff at GUIPodcast.com. I would definitely RSS the website just for updates because we at least a few times a week release new stuff on there, including making a drunken scene separate from the episode. So if you just want to watch, the Keanu Reeves one got interesting.
Oh God, that was so good.
Oh, that was so good. So
Yeah.
you can check that stuff at the website GUIPodcast.com, and also check me out running trivia every first and third Monday at Fallout on 18th Street in Richmond, Virginia, and every second and fourth Tuesday at Wonderland on Main Street and 18th in Shockoe Bottom in Richmond, Virginia. So it's a lot of fun, 8 to 10. And all that information is also on our website. So check it out. And that's it.
Yep.
Shenanigans.
Let us begin.
Let us begin.
Big thing to really talk about is like the early days of Stephen King. You know? He
Oh, yeah.
started doing short stories and stuff. And I don't have a whole lot of info personally about that, but I'm sure a couple of you guys do.
Yeah, he started writing short stories early on while he was actually teaching.
Yeah.
Too. He started out in college writing short stories, and then he actually went in to teach at the university that he went to and was writing short stories along that time and selling to magazines and stuff and whatnot. So
How creepy would it be if like Stephen King was your teacher?
That would be
Creepy, no.
awesome.
Yeah, that would be
Yeah,
so
creepy, awesome.
great.
Great.
So good.
Definitely
My
name
English
drop the
teacher was
fuck out
Stephen
of that.
King. I would have just taken that all day. I would have stayed in the classroom.
Be a guy that likes Bauhaus too much. It's like he's my favorite teacher. Just like really into
It would have been a breath of fresh air. He's written about how when he was a child, none of his English teachers liked any of the stuff he produced and thought that he had no future as a writer whatsoever.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
surprise.
Yeah. You're still teaching. I'm making lots of money. What's up?
I want to know what he was drawing as a kid. I want to know what he was like sitting there imagining in class, and they were like, "Fuck, call his parents now."
True. Now, just to clarify, and this is more so for me, he was first published as early as the 60s?
Magazines, yeah.
Magazines, yeah, right. But he didn't do the first book until
72. Carrie came out.
72, 73.
74. 74. Yeah.
Yeah, we have a little bit of insight into what he would have been like as a teenager. There was a book he wrote, I believe, while he was still in high school is when it was started, called Rage, about a school shooting. And
Yeah.
I'm guessing Stephen King did not have the brightest childhood.
No.
Yeah, that movie actually got pulled right after there was a school shooting, and
Right.
they found that book in his locker. And they were like, Stephen King's like, nope, we're gonna go ahead and pull that.
Yeah.
You can still find it in the UK
Damn.
for a little bit after that, but now it's not has not been reprinted for a long time.
I was about to say it's probably just him just not wanting any relation to that, good or bad, whatever it may be. Yeah, he just I don't blame him.
Well, if you look at not just Stephen King's backstory, but so many just prolific writers, actors, directors, content creators of one regard or another, artists, their backstories are very similar to that, where they had really fucked up childhoods in one way or another, whether it be unattentive or abusive parents or just not fitting in growing up and feeling kind of like the black sheep or just the odd one out most of the time. And the thing is, that sucks for a child, but it gives you people like Stephen King. So,
So he only had to deal with that for a little while. Now his life got amazing, right? I mean,
like pretty good.
So, yeah, another thing that might give us a glimpse into his childhood is people don't realize The Long Walk was a really early book under the Bachman pseudonym. But I mean, that's a pretty fucked up book. Kids are getting shot for dropping the deuce because they're walking nonstop, and they can't literally they have to shit on themselves and walk. Like, that's a fucked up book.
I've never heard.
You need to read The Long Walk.
read
good.
that one.
Yes,
I-
totally
no,
read that one.
that's-
I'll let you borrow it. It's fucking great.
It's one that I'm
sounds
stunned
fucking
hasn't been
insane.
adapted yet.
Right?
Yeah.
God damn it.
You know, The Hunger Games. Wow, that was that right there. So,
Yeah.
But I was about to say they related a lot more of that to like Hunger Games or even Battle Royale,
yes.
Yeah.
where it was competition. I guess you don't want to deal with that when he has plenty of other stuff. I think he's successful for at this point. So
That is
but
true.
it would be really good.
And he's incredibly gracious about it. They've asked him, too, about the comparisons to Hunger Games and Long Walk. And he said, well, we both ripped them off from the same source material. Shirley Jackson's The Lottery.
Yeah.
Mm.
Okay.
Very true.
Fair enough.
True.
But yeah.
Go ahead.
No, I'm good.
No, please
No,
finish your
no,
thought.
after you.
Oh Jesus!
Fucking
Oh,
talk
God.
already.
It's a fucking Stephen King panel. Just go.
Oh, thank you.
You're welcome.
So I was gonna ask that comparison while you guys were talking about it. You said Battle Royale. So I've not read this story, so I assume it in the same vein. Is it? You said that they have to basically keep moving. If they shit on themselves, like they die.
If they stop to do
Or
anything,
they stop.
they have to keep a certain
Not if they
pace.
shit on themselves, they die.
They
but
have to keep a
they get
certain
killed.
pace the entire time. If they slow down, if they stop, they get strikes. The last strike, you get killed.
Okay.
Yeah, I think
So
that's
they don't
what,
fight
like-
each other. So
No.
it's not a,
No.
No.
It's just in the similar.
It's simpler and similar at the same time, where there is competition, but they're not sitting there with battle axes or anything.
Like tripping
and it's
each
even
other?
like
Right.
and it's even like parents are dropping the kids off to do it, kind of thing.
Yeah.
From what I'm remembering, because I read it years ago. But yeah, it's walk as long as you go, and you get the strikes, and it's like 3 strikes and you're out.
That's fucked up.
Yeah, basically, the kids, like, some kids wanted to be in this, and like, the parents drop them off at the starting point, then they walk, and the person who wins, they get whatever they want, like whatever they want, that's their prize.
Yeah, and there's definitely competitive elements of combat between the kids in terms of psychological warfare.
Right.
Yeah.
One kid will attempt to goad another kid into, quote, buying out is what they call it, which is getting shot by losing the competition. And the personalities really show. There's a lot of clash and a lot of psychological trying to trick other people out of the race, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
It's like who can keep their hand on the car the longest.
Yeah,
It's exactly that. It's
Yeah.
an endurance test.
It really is.
Yeah, pretty much. But that story, is amazing that it hasn't been adapted, especially since there's been some adaptations that were weird choices in some regards, or just weird adaptations. We were talking the other night about Night Shift.
Graveyard Shift.
Graveyard Shift. Yeah,
Graveyard
or that book, the short stories from that, like all of them got adapted.
Oh no! Oh yeah, the Graveyard Shift was a short story.
In Night Shift. Yeah, but the book Night Shift, Graveyard Shift. What were some of the other ones from that book?
Children of the Corn. Sometimes they come back.
Yep.
Yeah.
Those are just some of them. Yeah.
Yeah. What a lot.
Some of them.
Quitters Inc. The Ledge.
Yeah. What a lot of people don't realize is that I feel like it's even more so. I mean, obviously you have the It and Stand, which were big novels that he did, but a lot of his adaptations have been the short stories.
Yeah.
Like very simple, and we know that some of them do get fucked up. Running Man.
God damn it!
Damn it.
That's what I meant by weird adaptations.
Yeah, because I mean, think of like a few of his most popular ones, at least in my eyes. You have Shawshank, which was based on a short story, Stand By Me, and Apt Pupil, and they were all in the same book.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah.
I mean, it's and they're phenomenal adaptions.
That's Apt Pupil is one that I always forget about. That had Magneto.
McKellen.
Ian McKellen was in
He's
it.
a Nazi.
Well, Magneto was the other side, so you got to play both sides of it.
That's fucked up.
One that Anthony liked and one that Anthony didn't.
You take a guess at which one.
Yeah, right. Yeah, which one did our panels the German like? No, but yeah, Apt Pupil. There's just been so many adaptations of his short stories, but I think it's just easier to adapt a short story of Stephen King's because it's so expressive and detailed into a film than a, say 900-page book.
Yeah. Well, and because we all know Hollywood likes to take their leeway with stuff as well. So with a short story, you can add in more of the Hollywood bullshit, if you will. But what also a lot of people don't realize too, I don't know the history behind it, but the Bachman name, a lot of people don't realize is that he wrote under Bachman for a lot of the short stories and for.
Well, another one came out, Blaze. So there's 5.
5. Okay.
Blaze got released in the mid 2000s. It was like
that's right. Yeah.
a found book by Bachman.
There's
Right,
also
right.
Regulators as well, which
Yeah.
has been discussed as
Forgot
being
about
brought
that.
as a series.
And that
at
was
some
adapted into a song in the 90s,
Yeah.
actually. So
by Warren G and Company.
Yes, Warren G, big fan of Stephen King. And actually, the opening line to the song was the opening line to the book is on the East Side in the LBC.
GUI fact.
On a mission, try to find
GUI fact.
Mr. Stephen King was the original.
Very
lyrics, but-
specifically a GUI fact,
Yes.
not actual fact.
a GUI.
Yeah.
What's funny is that he wrote the Regulators was written under Richard Bachman, and then he had Desperation, which was written under Stephen King. Basically, the same characters. One was set in the desert, one was set in suburbia.
Right.
Yeah.
It was really cool to read both of them because it's like it's the same like evil, which is actually tied into the Dark Tower. But seeing it at different places is pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
Well, and that's also where he's been good. Where whether the Bachman stuff or his regular things is the. I mean, obviously, we're going to be talking all about it when we brought it up with the Hulu show. Is the Castle Rock, the town of Castle Rock, Maine, of where he bases 98% of his stories. There's very little that goes. If they go outside of it, it's someone traveled there but came back. It's that type of thing, and he just the subtleness to it is what I think makes it a great read for so many of his stories.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Yeah, I agree. But along with his early life and reading and while he was writing as Bachman, he did develop severe alcoholism and whatnot. That was the thing.
We talked about it. Like
That happens for
Got
artists.
addictions of different regards in the 80s, but I mean,
Who didn't?
it was the 80s.
It was the 80s.
yeah.
Hey, at least he didn't
Yeah.
cut his ear off.
There was a reason
shit.
why Flock of Seagulls got popular. It's because everyone was on drugs.
Yeah,
Like-
right. Hey, that one song's cool. All right. That one
Made
song.
you feel like you were
Well,
flying.
there's a reason why most of the '80s were one-hit wonders.
Like,
Yeah.
how many people do you think did lines off their copy of Salem's Lot? That's all I'm saying. It's like just sitting on the coffee table like this will work. You know?
Yeah, right. No.
Or on Halloween dressed as Dracula.
Yeah,
just
right.
because you could.
True.
That's, if you're dressed as Dracula and your nose bleeds, you just play it off. you just
If you
run
say,
off.
I was drinking some blood and it came out my nose.
Yeah.
I laughed.
Yeah, I was drinking blood and somebody said something funny. And,
Yeah, and it came out my nose.
Oh, shut
Oh
the
my
fuck
God.
up.
You guys, seriously.
So that's further proof that things have gotten just like diluted over the years, because we had, like cocaine vampires in the 80s, and now they just sparkle.
They just fucking sparkle.
They just fucking
No,
sparkle.
That's the methamphetamines, okay?
They were pretty clear in the 70s too, but
Yeah. They
Maybe more
sparkle
so.
and have 400-year-old vampires that are hitting on like 15-year-old girls, so yeah.
Yeah.
All that
No one ever
shit.
thought about that. No one ever thought about
Yeah,
that.
of course
It's like
not.
the ultimate pedophilia right there.
Oh,
Like,
yeah,
seriously.
totally.
Well, it's just
and
like
we shouldn't be thinking about that right now.
No.
well, it's just like they always said, if you take 50 Shades of Grey but just put it in a trailer park
Oh yeah.
and it wasn't a rich man,
It's
how
like Criminal
different the
Minds.
story would be.
It's Criminal Minds.
Yeah.
No, then it would turn into Gerald's Game.
Yes. Which that's actually up for a series.
Is it?
It's been filmed, and apparently they filmed it in order. Like, no, in a movie. But it was, a lot of movies are filmed out of order. Like the actress actually, they said they filmed that in order, so it was really hard, really stressful for her because she couldn't take a break. She
Okay, so
kinda
it was a
had to,
movie. You said a series.
Sorry,
and
in a movie, yeah.
I was like, how do you turn that into a series?
I don't know when it's gonna be released though. Like, I haven't read an article. It's been like 6 months since I last read
Yeah,
about
because
it.
if it was a series, there'd be just like one episode where she's just in bed.
Yeah,
like
just in bed.
that's it.
That's it. But yeah,
Who's
it-
developing it?
I don't know the names attached to it. Like, I didn't recognize them. They don't stand out. But the fact that they're doing it, it's like that's hard to make interesting.
Yeah.
Reading, it's one thing because he's really good at his narrative as far as inside people's heads and really developing the character. But trying to bring that to screen sometime when that's all there is really fucking hard.
Well, yeah, especially first-person perspective. I mean, there's gonna be a lot of flashbacks and stuff. There's got to be.
Yeah, it's a challenging one because it relies so heavily on a gimmick that doesn't show up right until near the end of the book.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
And to go into it in further detail would ruin it for anybody who's not read the book. I would urge you to. It's a wonderfully suspenseful book.
It very much is, but I would say not as well known as a number of his other books.
Yeah.
I would
Oh,
say.
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I remember in the 1990s when that first came out, it was a very, very lurid premise for a book. The handcuffs, the bed, the deviant sex for the time, which seems quaint nowadays.
Yes.
Yeah. Right.
Right?
Ooh, handcuffs.
But
Yeah.
back then it was like, oh my god, 20
that
years
was
ago,
just
man.
my Tuesday morning.
Can you do that one more time?
So wait,
Ooh, handcuffs.
it's like moving up from scarves, ladies and gentlemen.
What the fuck?
He just
Before
jazz
anyone had
hand
seen the
S&M.
internet.
Yeah.
He just jazz hand S&M. That's what you did.
Safe word, bitch.
Oh, I so want that to be the name of the
Jazz
episode.
hand S&M.
What is the safe word for that? Because it'll be said quick.
Sparkle motion.
The safe word is "you're so funny" because I wouldn't hear that in any other regard.
Oh god.
Yeah, but one thing that Stephen King's also known for, that some of the biggest writers are known for as well, is his collaborations, both collaborating with well-known directors with the adaptations, but also in writing as well. One of my favorite collaborations was for the book The Talisman.
Oh God.
Is
Nice.
Yes.
absolutely fantastic, and that was what, Peter Straub?
Peter Straub.
Peter
yeah.
Straub, who's known for The Black House, is one of his big books that
No,
he did.
that's with Stephen King too.
Oh, that's
That's a
right.
sequel to
another-
Talisman.
Yeah, that's right.
Peter
Yeah.
Straub was known. His big one was Ghost Story, which
Ghost
they made a
Story,
movie
yeah.
out of in the 80s.
That was a good movie,
Yeah,
too.
it was. It was a
Yeah.
good movie. He's a good writer too.
That was.
Yep.
He's solid. He's more supernatural.
Yeah, I think that's why I got more Stephen King than Peter Straub, because I don't do the supernatural, like, unless it's supernatural and
Yeah, exactly. Like Stephen King's supernatural and usually.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
There's more to it.
and alternate dimensions or
Yes.
something. Yeah.
Yes.
But I remember first reading The Talisman when I was in high school, and it blew me away. To the point where I mentioned outside that they should do something like Marvel, where they're coming out with, the Dark Tower movies. They need to do something on TV, and if they did, like, The Talisman maybe as a companion, or In the Eyes of the Dragon, would be a fantastic CW show.
No, but I mean seriously. I mean, like,
Maybe Freeform.
If the Dark, we were talking about this last night actually at trivia. Like, if the Dark Tower succeeds, then they can start a Stephen King centric universe.
Yeah.
Because
Oh,
I mean,
yeah.
you've got the Man in Black, who's like the Stand. He shows up in the Talisman. Like, he could be he's the villain. Like, Matthew McConaughey would be set for movies for a little while.
Yeah.
Like, like,
Well, yeah, because unfortunately the Dark Tower series is, I mean, I haven't read everything, obviously, like you guys have, but unfortunately the Dark Tower series, I like was able to read part of the first one years ago. Again, the reading has not been my friend lately. But that's one thing I understood, is that the tower is like almost like what they basically, again, the great subtleness is that the tower is like a focal point for all the worlds that Stephen King has created, and it hinders on this kind of story.
Yeah, right. Actually, we were talking about this last night. Lowdown here showed me a really cool Easter egg that I never realized in The Mist, which is actually one of my favorite, movies adapted. A long time I read it. To be honest with you, then when I saw the movie, I was so impressed by that. But there is the Man in Black, or no, I'm sorry.
The gunslinger.
The gunslinger being painted in the beginning by Thomas Jane.
Yeah.
And in the background, you also
yeah.
see certain other things, and it's got the tower right there behind him. And I was like, well, holy shit. Like,
Yeah, man.
they've been trying to sneak this in for years.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, and now he's sort of gone aggressively blatant and open with all these connections between the three of them, between the Mr. Mercedes trilogy, the works that he's done along with his son Joe Hill and Dr. Sleep. It kind of ties it all together and like reveals that there's sort of three Stephen King universes all at play with each other. On the one hand, there's Dark Tower world where our friends the Man in Black are from. Pennywise comes from there. And then there's the world that they go into to mess with people, and Nosferatu makes it very clear as he's driving around that world that this is absolutely connected to Midworld, and there are a bunch of people and creatures with the skill to seamlessly go between the two. And then finally, there's the universe of End of Watch, where these guys are watching things like Christine on TV and reading The Dark Tower for fun.
It's fucking brilliant.
That's right.
It's like us.
I'm really surprised you didn't pull a dad joke on that with Dracula. Was he his Dracula?
Oh, yeah.
I was saving that for you, Kyle.
Oh, thank you.
Right.
Whatever. You like it.
But that's when I was hearing about that, the different Stephen King universes, it reminded me a lot of Vonnegut with like Breakfast of Champions, where he would write himself into the books, and he wrote about it being a story in the story, which I thought was that breaking the fourth wall before Deadpool did it.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And I think it's just such a brilliant move because it's almost like watching the Never-Ending Story where he becomes part of the story as he's reading it. That's such a cool feeling to add to a book,
Well, and Carpenter with In the Mouth of Madness.
Yeah.
Did a lot of that as well. The whole like the book is real or is it or what?
Yeah, but I mean, you even see that in like the short story that Stand By Me is based off of.
The Body.
The body, which is a great story just by itself.
Yes.
But, like you actually get to see more than just what Gordy tells them around the campfire, but like some of his like more twisted like stories that he actually writes. Which is just a beautiful aspect of it. It's just you're delving like 3 different characters deep.
The layers.
It's absolutely beautiful layers.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he definitely is a part of his own universe. There's an epilogue to either Desperation or Regulators, I can't remember which one, in which a character writes another character a letter discussing that they're reading Stephen King books and that the only person they've ever known who also reads Stephen King books is one of the protagonists of one
That's
of those
Regulators.
stories. It's
That's
Regulators. Okay, yeah.
Tapping off of Dan with Stand By Me, I've got to say, like, honestly, it's creepy as it is, that was like my favorite coming of age story as a kid. When I first saw that, I was like, fucking A, man, because like that's about as John Hughes and Stephen King is going to get.
Oh yeah,
right? It's kids going to find a fucking body. Like that's how they bonded. They went to find a fucking dead body.
I just want to see John Ritter like in a remake of Stand By Me, like as an adult, just being like
John Ritter's dead.
Yeah,
or not
John
Richard
Dreyfuss.
Richard Dreyfuss.
Yeah.
No, what's
John
his face?
Ritter?
Ducky. John Cryer. Sorry.
Oh,
John
Cryer.
Cryer.
I was about to
Sorry,
say
yeah.
John Ritter was in it though, wasn't he?
Yeah, he
Yes.
was.
No.
Yeah.
John
The
Ritter.
movie.
Yeah,
John Ritter played one of the adults in the miniseries.
Yeah,
didn't
he played the older Ben.
Yes, he played the older Ben. That's right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Just John Cryer in a whimsical 16 Candles style like version of The Body remade would be amazing.
So would he be the body, or which character would he be?
I'm feeling very weird right now.
He'd wear a fat suit and be the kid that throws up.
had
Like
a
in
killer-
the-
It'd be lard ass.
yeah.
That movie had a killer cast. I mean, you had Kiefer Sutherland, who was coming into his career
Yes.
as a
Oh,
badass.
yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
You had fucking River Phoenix.
Yeah.
You know, like when he was good.
Will Wheaton.
Yeah. Well,
Well, I mean, he was just
he
kind of
didn't last much longer after that.
Well, he did have
really.
Pupil, and then he did some other shit. Like, he was the kidnapped pupil too.
People
Well,
and
Sneakers.
My Own Private Idaho was one of his last ones, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're talking about River Phoenix?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was in Stand By Me. He was
Sneakers,
the,
man.
Young
Fucking
Indiana
Sneakers.
Jones.
He was
shit,
he was
Sneakers,
also
I
the
forgot
young
about
Indiana
that.
Jones.
But then you had
Yeah.
who played Vern? That guy, Sliders guy.
Oh,
Jerry O'Connell.
Jerry
O'Connell.
O'Connell.
Yeah.
And Corey Feldman, obviously.
I
that
just-
movie was really star-studded.
I love
Yeah.
what you
Yeah.
go to for Jerry O'Connell is Sliders. Like that's
I don't know anything else he's done.
Tomcats.
No, we didn't watch that.
Tom
Guy who
Cats.
got his dick
I'm just
bitten off in Piranha.
Can't hardly
There you
wait.
go.
Didn't watch that either.
Yes.
I have no idea what he's
call.
been in.
Can't hardly wait. Whatever that teenage movie with
Oh,
the
where
chick from
oh god,
Party
he
of
wasn't
Five.
that? Yeah.
Never. Like all I know
The
him from
new
is Sliders
guy.
and that. That's it. Like I'm not a Jerry O'Connell fan.
Sometimes we watch things to get laid.
If ever you want to see the first 2 seasons of Sliders,
No.
I have them on.
I don't.
He's Mr. Rebecca
the first
Romaine.
season is fantastic.
Not that much.
Fuck you, Kyle. Don't feed into his shit.
I'm not. We've talked about
Oh,
this.
Sliders sucked.
Can I borrow them?
Did you ever see the Family Guy where they did the Three Kings episode?
No.
So and they talk about like Vern grew up to marry Rebecca Romaine, and he's like, and I'm not even kidding about this. They have Richard Dreyfuss actually come in.
That's
to do
awesome.
the- and he's like,
That's awesome.
He's like, I'm not even kidding about this. So like, look this up. The kid that played Vern in Stand By Me grew up to marry Rebecca Romaine.
That's
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's hilarious.
There was an article actually came out recently about Jerry O'Connell and why you don't really see him a whole lot anymore. And I think it was basically because his style of acting and comedy just don't work anymore.
No.
Wasn't
No,
Joe's
he-
apartment.
It barely worked in
Yeah.
the 90s.
Yeah.
Like, honestly.
Kangaroo
Yeah,
Yeah.
he had youth on his side in the 90s.
Yeah.
Well, and then I'm pretty sure
He had enthusiastic and very passionate writing on Sliders.
Well, and then after that, Brendan Fraser came in and stole all of his roles.
Right? No shit.
Yeah,
they're
pretty much.
like one and
Yeah.
the same.
Yeah,
they were like
basically
one and the
the-
I
same.
think they
Yeah.
did go out. They did go out for School Ties at the same time, which is really pushed Brendan Fraser.
Oh,
Yeah, that was
School
his big
Ties,
first
yeah.
That was
one,
just
yeah.
one of his first. That was
Yeah.
with Matt Damon too. Was in that.
Yep.
Shot
Matt
himself.
Damon.
Anyway.
Damon.
Yeah,
Matt Damon.
I just really, I think that's one of my top 5 of favorite adaptations of Stephen King's. Stand By Me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's-
Again, it goes back to the way King writes. I mean, you hear briefly about the body in the beginning, is why the adventure starts, and they give a little bit of backstory about the friends. But it's this, we're friends and we're on an adventure, and then all of a sudden at the end, you're like, oh yeah, we're trying to find a dead body. By the way, yeah, thanks.
Yeah, I mean, there's so much to that. I mean, like, so many characters like break down and get built back up by their friends. You know, it's so awesome to see that because they all know each other. They all know their fucked up shit, but they never really show a weakness about it. But they do on that trip. You know, and that was pretty sweet.
Yeah, and it's just so quintessentially King in its themes too. The whole thing is a play on writing and the art of writing. The short stories in it are the characters finding their narrative voice. Their dialogue is them learning how to connect and write other characters. It's wonderful that way.
Yeah, but the body and then also the movie adaptation of it really speaks to kind of to a lot about reality, you know, because when you're 12 years old, I mean, you think about like the friends that you had at 12. I have very few people that I knew at 12 that I still keep in contact with. Like Scott is one of the few exceptions.
Right.
Okay, so you know you don't really have friends like you did when you were 12 years old.
That's
so
what
you
they say.
You grow and you know you all get like interested in different things, and they touch on that at the very end of that.
Yep.
I was piggyback on what he was talking about was I find it from someone on an outside perspective who's not as deep into the into reading the books but more the movies or the adaptations. I am fascinated that a writer as good as he is can have such a wide range of subjects and characters, and for a good bulk of them still have a common thread that would even allow for a universe to happen. That itself, for somebody who's not even hasn't read a lot of his stuff, am impressed by the ability to do that.
Yeah, it's just it's amazing that it's not just the universe for the fans, but it's really a relatable story, and I admire how in both the movie and the book it goes places that none of the other coming of age stories that I think I've ever seen, at least until recent times, go. There's abusive dads, there's absolutely abusive older kids. None of those kids really have a happy home life.
Well, that's the thing that actually kind of was so realistic for me with Stephen King is that these aren't just happy people that end up in a shitty situation. There's a lot of like abused women and kids and like fucked up family lives and stuff like that, that adds a level of realism, because if you're not from one of those situations, you knew somebody in your neighborhood that was, or somebody on your school bus, somebody you had class with. So these were all realistic depictions of like how fucked a family structure can be sometimes, and everybody's raising their hand. I think Scotty was next.
Okay. Well, I was even it even goes into where you have something like The Body or Stand By Me, like, is very realistic. But again, expanding on the way King writes, go into Carrie. You have that fucked up teenage child with the super religious, abusive mother.
Dirty pillows.
Dirty pillows. Plug it up.
Dude, that's so fucking wrong, right?
Right. And you're sitting like you like when you're younger, because obviously because that was the movie was 76, so of course none of us were here back in 76. But as early teens, you're just like, oh, that's kind of funny. They're picking on the poor girl, but you kind of know what happens. But now you watch and you're like, God, I want to beat those children. I just want to beat them.
Yeah.
Like, they're being so mean.
But like, you carry it over. It goes over to Carrie as far as fucked up family life. But I mean, that carries over to It. A lot of those kids had fucked up family life.
Yeah.
You look at Ben and his mom, like no father there. You look at Beverly and her dad, who's an alcoholic, his janitor, who's like just waste.
Very abusive.
You got Georgie gets killed in the beginning, so there's death right there. There's just a lot going on in that too.
Yeah, and there's a lot of overlying tones with that too. The TV miniseries didn't put a whole lot of focus on it, so I'm going to be interested to see what the movie does with it, because it's not like correct. But it's not like it was just taking his kids down into the sewer and killing them. He was doing much worse things with them first.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Tell us.
Do you think that's how Children of the Corn was incepted and created? It was just like, instead of the kids being abused, they fight back. They take out all the adults.
Well, yeah, it's a really refreshing thing to read these books and see these movies, because we live in a world that mythologizes the 1950s as like the pinnacle of American greatness. And Stephen King has been out there for years saying, guys, it was just as bad back then.
Yeah.
Dads were drunk and locked out on their families. Moms beat their kids. Everything was not roses.
That's super, as line through a number of his stories. There's a short story, and I cannot remember the name to save my life, but basically there's this town where everybody's super chill with each other, and this guy realizes that it's like the well water. There's something in the well water that's making everybody just like mellowed out, and everybody gets along, and everybody's complacent, and everybody's super peaceful, and there's no crime or anything.
What was that?
So they end up like carting some water to a volcano, and it like erupts with like the vapors go across the earth, and it turns out what it does is makes people dumb. and so basically it ends up killing the human race, because they're trying to get it back to that polite 50s kind of mentality that people think the 50s were. But turns out it's just, no, they're all dumb. Like they're all just becoming dumb enough to not be able to do any kind of complicated stuff. So the industry just crumbles. People have trouble even writing by the end of it. And it's like, oh, well, yeah. Kind of a chemical warfare type of situation, but with stupidity.
Yeah. I can't remember.
I think it was called Fox News.
Oh.
All right.
You almost did their
Good
theme.
job there. Good job. Yeah.
Oh, to bring it back around, we were talking about collaborations real quick. I'm not too strong on the writing, but we have to bring up, again, I mentioned Creepshow, working with George Romero.
Sad face.
That's why there's an RIP in there.
Yeah, exactly.
We haven't really talked much about George Romero yet on the episode. There was a little bit of an RIP put on our precap that Bruce does for us. But yeah, let's raise a glass to Mr. George Romero,
Godfather of the Dead,
and just reinvented the entire horror genre. So
amen.
Cheers, man. Thank you so much, bro.
And if it wasn't for you, Maximum Overdrive may not have happened.
But aside from being a great collaborator with Stephen King, they were actually good friends.
Oh yeah,
outside of their collaborations.
You read like his release about that, right? Like it's very heartfelt. Like,
they were both just like workers. They were guys that always had to have a project going in order to be happy, and they found brotherhood with each other in that. and if you look like Creepshow, and what is it, the Dark Half? I think
Dark Half.
Yeah.
as well.
Oh my god.
That
Oh, that
they
was
worked really well together because Stephen King and Romero both understood that a way to both include a social commentary and a little bit of humor in with your horror at the same time. So
Oh yeah.
Get Creepshow, which was basically a straight up like EC Comics comic book brought to life in goofy glory. It was fantastic.
And the Dark Half, Romero, it wasn't so much the Romero comedy style, it was Romero placating the Stephen King comedy in the book. In that movie. That movie has some it's really funny, like the alter ego version of the main character, which is the writer, the alter ego writer. Like, his lines are fucking hilarious.
Yeah.
He is such a fucking asshole, psychotic asshole. It's great.
Yeah, so that
I love it.
so is the stories just a compliment to each other?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Basically.
Nice.
Well, the Dark Half is based off
You're
of like
good, bro. I like your moves.
the Dark
I like
Half
your
is based
style.
off of Stephen King's real life with him and Richard Bachman as pseudonym. So in the movie The Dark Half, the author has an alter ego, but he's an asshole when he writes under that. He drinks a lot. He's a dick. So he wants to bury the alter ego.
It's a Jekyll
And he
and
actually,
Hyde
but he
sort
actually
of-
comes to life. Yeah, pretty
That's
cool.
that's true with a lot of writers, actually, much like actors, where there's a little bit of a method way of writing as well, where you have to kind of get into the mindset of the characters that you're creating. So you end up kind of behaving differently as you're writing some aspects of your story. Not, of course, not all writers do that, much like not all actors are method actors, but it's definitely a thing where there's been marriages and friendships and relationships that have been ruined by people developing characters and kind of acting them out a little bit while creating it.
No, it's very true, very true.
Yeah.
And I mean, that was a big problem for him, when he was writing his Bachman. But the only reason he actually started writing his Bachman is because back then, authors were only really able to do one title a year, and he had more than just that. So he got the pen name Richard Bachman, so he could release more novels.
Yeah.
A year. He could put out at least 2.
Yeah.
Well, and we talked about, like, unfortunately, a lot of the people like this had the drinking problems, the drug problems. If you look at the peak time that he was having the substance abuse issues, that was the bulk of his monster stories that he was doing. And it definitely, the man fed off real life, so.
He had some struggles, though, man. There's interviews with him talking about how, like, he was drunk through his mother's eulogy. Like, he doesn't remember giving it.
Right.
Like, when his mom died. Like, he was pretty bad off.
Yeah, that's bad.
Yeah, that's pretty bad.
We're going to get into that, and we definitely got to talk about The Shining and also the TV movie version of The Shining.
Yes.
as
Yes.
well.
God.
Yes.
Oh.
Yeah,
That's where I should.
As
Yeah.
well as second half is the perfect time to talk about like the Tommy Knockers and the Langoliers
Yes.
and really just get into like the meat. We've talked a lot about the backstory of Stephen King and a lot of his books and how they got adapted, but we haven't talked about Pet Sematary. We haven't.
Dude, we got a whole.
Yeah, we've got it. We got so
we got an
much.
amazing second half coming up, guys.
Yeah, the second half is going to be such a blast. So
look at all this.
stick around
at all
after
this.
our brief message, and we'll be right back. This is Myke the Hobbit, direct from Fallout on a trivia night, telling you to come here every first and third Monday for trivia between 8 and 10, 25-cent wings, drink specials, prizes, and tons of really inappropriate trivia. It's a lot of fun. Do you guys agree? Definitely come out and enjoy trivia every first and third Monday at Fallout. In addition to Fallout, Geeks Under the Influence takes over Wonderland on the corner of 18th and Main Street for Geeks Under the Influence trivia, ridiculous trivia, goofy music, great food, cheap drinks. 1727 East Main. Come and check us out 8 to 10 every second and fourth Tuesday. We're back for the second half of Geeks Under the Influence, episode 113, all things Stephen King film and TV adaptations. Before we continue on with the second half, which is always off the rails, let's talk about the sponsors that allow us to do all this drinking, all this podcasting, and talking about some of our favorite shit. First up, of course, is amzn.com. As we've said before, most of our equipment we've gotten through amazon.com, and you can do the same with all of the cool nerd shit that we talk about on this episode and others. You can go to gypodcast.com, click on the link in the upper right corner of the main page to get to Amazon, bookmark through that link, and anything that you purchase through that link, we get credit for, so we can make money from Amazon without you spending any more money than you would have already on Amazon. It's a pretty simple setup.
Boom.
Yeah. Just shop Amazon. Make sure you go through the link on GY Podcast. That's it.
And delete cookies first.
Delete cookies so that it shows up before you bookmark, especially.
Yes.
And also, Loot Crate.
God, love
If you have not heard of Loot Crate, what are you doing?
Jesus.
Get out from under your rock.
Yeah, it's such a great service. It's a monthly subscription service where you can get a geeky themed box delivered to your door, just a monthly little gift to yourself, or a way to get little presents for your friends if it's something that you're not that into. Last month was animation with stuff from
Rick and Morty,
Bob's Burgers, Ninja Turtles, and Futurama.
Yeah, Futurama.
Yeah, a great crate that I actually have in the living room. I forgot to grab it for unboxing.
What's good time-wise?
Yeah.
That Rick figure was so cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, every month it's always a blast. You can save $3 when signing up by going through the link on our links page at GUIpodcast.com. So we get credit. And then when you sign up, use SAVE3 on the coupon code when checking out. And this coming month is going to be Kingdom is the theme, with stuff from Lord of the Rings, Adventure Time, and Zelda, Legend of Zelda.
Yes.
For that. So yeah,
That's
some good
Looking
shit.
forward to that.
I just want one of those foam like Zelda swords I've seen people have.
Like the Master Sword, or
It's like the Master Sword, but it's all like pixelated looking.
That's a Minecraft sword.
Yeah, it's a Minecraft sword, dude.
Well, fuck.
That's
Never
not
mind.
Zelda.
Can we
That's
get
Minecraft.
the first one where you have like the old wizards like, here, it's a rough journey, take this with you.
And the brown one, you want
It's
the
the
brown
brown
sword?
one, yeah.
Like the OG brown sword.
Yeah.
Yes.
I just want one of the clay pots that you break to find like hearts in it. Yeah. Or just a pot with hearts in it.
And
that would be good.
rupees.
Yeah. Anyway, yeah, every month on Loot Crate, it's always well worth the price. At least $40, if not more, worth of stuff that you get for spending, between $16 and $20. So just make sure you go through the link at GUIpodcast.com and you save $3 when checking out. And that's our sponsors. Let's get into the fun stuff here.
Yay.
First up is what we are drinking. And we can't do what we're drinking without doing a little theme music.
Oh, yeah.
We unveiled a new version of the theme last week, and fortunately for everybody, we have another.
Oh, yes.
Another
oh God, you got
another remix of Kyle Smash.
Now I have to listen.
This is more kind of like goth rock.
Oh, God.
Little goth rock.
I want to hear
So-
this.
So here we go. Our what we're drinking theme.
Hey, we're fucking drinking. We're getting drunk. You want to know? Well, here you go. Hey,
Jesus Christ.
That was awesome.
I can already imagine a video going to that. Just us walking down the hall.
No, it's just you. It's not us. It's just you.
Oh, you're behind me, sir.
If it was
No.
only 1 minute longer, it would have been that nice Nine Inch Nails guitar riff right at the end from Pretty Hate Machine.
Can we film?
Yeah.
Can we film a really shitty like high school project like video to go with that?
I would love for us to do a "Hey, it's what we're drinking" music video.
Everything's gonna be perfect.
That
If there are any
That's a
musicians,
Saturday right there.
If there are any musicians that want to take "Hey, we're fucking drinking" and spin a whole song out of it, you have our approval. Like, go for it.
Yeah.
I'm not going to be too mad about it, and we'll even feature it on the podcast. And hell, let's make a fucking music video. I don't give a shit.
hell
Let's do
yes.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Let's collaborate.
And that would be
listen,
such a party song for a live show.
Yeah, just do a dubstep version.
No, okay, no
Sorry you wanted me to
dubstep.
go.
No.
No fucking dubstep.
Ice is back with the brand new
None of that
edition.
shit. Yeah, next in 2 hours before we even release this episode, somebody's gonna send me a dubstep version because you said that.
God
Thank
damn
you.
it. No.
Oh
It's
no.
like Beetlejuice. You just say any appearance.
No.
Yeah, right.
A
Seriously.
wild Skrillex.
Oh.
They're gonna do the what's the the voice synthesizer one that just stretches it out, makes you sound like you're in a rap music video.
Oh, auto-tune.
Auto-tune.
Auto
Thank you.
tunes, yeah.
Hey,
let's
we're
auto tune
fucking
that. No.
Oh man. Call him the T-Pain of GUI.
No shit.
All right, so now let's talk about actually what we are drinking. We have a couple shares this evening. So the first one up, Dan, what'd you bring for us?
I brought a new Ghost. It's actually called Ghosts Are Red. I've never even heard of this brewery before.
Which
so-
actually works thematically. The series Rose Red
yeah.
that
Yeah.
Stephen King put out.
Yes. But it's actually based out of Orange County, California.
Stupid West Coast.
Yeah, I know, but I can't even like read all the shit in here.
West
but it's
Coast.
like Thoreau, I think, is the name of the brewery, from what I can tell. Yeah, something like that. But it's a sour wheat ale brewed with salt and coriander with grapes added.
Okay.
So It's quite delicious.
It's got a little bit of that sour note, but it's not overpowering at all.
No.
It comes off more of just kind of that, like, almost of a raspberry tartness kind of.
It's
almost
not
tastes
bad.
like
I'm not a
juice.
sour person, but I can appreciate it.
Yeah.
So
That's tasty.
The actual
good.
scent of it kind of threw me off. It like smelled a little weird, but
That's what she said.
Yeah.
No, I mean, it almost smells more
he's
like
not
a-
circumcised,
wasn't
so.
Yeah.
quite a fish smell.
but it
Smegma.
almost smells more like a fruit punch
Oh, I am.
Okay.
Smegma.
kind, but I mean it's more of like a grape based sour. So.
It's like if you threw a bunch of Pop Rocks in fruit punch, then you would get
and drank a Coke.
and drink a Coke, and then spun around a little. I don't know. We're making it weird. now.
anyway,
What's the ABV on that?
Let's see. I haven't even looked. Where's it at? Where are you seeing, Mike?
It's 5.3.
5.3.
5.3. Okay, so
Which is
very,
actually pretty.
Goses aren't-
yeah, they don't tend to be too heavy.
pretty normal for a ghost.
Yep.
So
And the IBUs are pretty much into. They're not even worth mentioning really on this
No.
one.
No,
there's
because-
like no hop to it.
Yeah.
So, but that's a tasty. That's a tasty.
it's
beverage.
and it even has an ideal serving temp on it. So this actually shows 45 degrees Fahrenheit and.
by all means, you let us know when it reaches that temperature, and we'll serve it, sir.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, totally.
Just when you-
Yeah.
Also 7 Celsius for any of our Canadian friends who might be listening.
We actually have a pretty decent Canadian
Yeah.
contingency. I think partially it's because of our lovely friends at YMM Podcast. That,
Yeah, I was about to say.
I'm sure-
Fort McMurray.
yeah, Fort Mac. Love you guys.
Yes,
but yeah,
cheers.
I'm sure we got a couple listeners from their mentions of us over the years.
This is actually kind of cool. It's like the first beer I've ever seen that has like actual directions on how to drink
What do
it.
they think it's fucking wine?
Hardywood does. Every one of
Hardywood
theirs
does.
release
Yeah,
tells you
yeah.
what temperature
Yeah.
to drink it at, what glass to drink it out of.
No, but this
Yeah.
this even says, like, please pour carefully, leaving the yeast sediment behind in the bottle.
Oh yeah, you don't want to drink that shit. No, that's gross.
That's just good life advice. Is always
Yeah.
leave the yeast
Sediment.
sediment behind.
It's almost like drinking
Maybe
a
that's the
champagne.
title.
Never mind. I was going to come up. Just leave the yeast alone. Period. No matter where you find it.
Hey, teacher,
Especially during that time.
leave that yeast alone.
Fuck you.
Oh God!
Get the fuck out.
Dude,
Out of
you're
my
gonna run
own
into a
studio.
Pink Floyd
Yes.
fan who listens to this, and they're gonna slap the shit out of you.
I know that's coming at some point. It doesn't really matter at this point what reason it is.
I guess, yeah, one of many.
So
Next one up is Lowdown. Was nice enough to bring a share as well. What are we drinking on this evening?
oh, I brought Evil Twin Brewing Company's La Flama Blanca. Yeah.
That's interesting.
Mm-hmm.
The white
Wow.
flame.
Mm-hmm.
That's
you
another
pour me-
like
can you
sour
pour me
type
some of that?
note there.
Yes, I can.
Ooh, what is? There's a lot going on that.
Mm-hmm.
It's just a sour.
Yeah, it's got a
green apple.
The green apple is definitely apparent. You get that tartness with the green apple, which actually pairs really well with the sour.
For-
I would think that possibly the tartness of the green apple with the sour might be a little bit overpowering.
Yeah,
But
this one is definitely more of a pucker.
it puckers
to
a
it.
little bit, but I think that because the flavor is kind of that green apple flavor, it's approachable even with the kind of puckering
yeah,
nature.
I mean, because green apples is like always tart anyway. So
This right here, I think, paired properly with food, would be fantastic. I think
Yeah,
if you were to
could be.
do like a meat and cheese tray with this, so you get like the salty sausage.
Yeah, mix it with some prosciutto.
Some prosciutto would be fantastic with
prosciutto.
this.
Okay,
Yeah,
great.
Okay.
Maybe some salami.
a salted meat.
yeah,
Salted
no,
meat or
I can see that.
Yeah, would go well.
Some,
Or maybe a
and
salted
some
meat
Gouda.
or
This is,
a smoked Gouda would go really well
Yeah.
with this.
This is out of Mount Pleasant, South Carolina.
Yeah, Gouda and prosciutto.
Yeah.
It's only 4.5. Like we
Now,
said.
why did
Those
you
is-
pick this one particularly?
Oh well, I don't know if you can see it from the camera, but the front, Evil Twin Brewing Company, Evil Twins, The Shining, and also Dark Half.
Yep.
Like as we discussed, Alter Ego, Dark. The crab. There's a crab on it. So Dark Tower, and also Maine, New England, seafood, and then La Flama Blanca. There's a little white girl that starts fires from Firestarter. So
Yeah.
there's that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's
It's like 5 degrees of Stephen King on this one label.
that's pretty good.
Yeah.
That's a
Yeah.
pretty good get.
Yeah.
That's,
You're welcome.
Good flavor.
that's tasty. I don't know if I would sit
Very
down with just that beer.
No,
but
no.
I would have to. I would definitely have to pair it with food. I
Yeah.
think.
yeah.
But
you're right. With something with a pork, like a nice
yeah,
salted
like,
ham or
yeah.
Virginia ham. Ooh, this with a Virginia,
Smithfield?
that salted, like that salted Virginia ham,
I could see that. Yeah.
or salted herring. But I'm not really a fan of that meat.
Yeah.
Do you lift a pinky when you eat it, or I mean?
Pork chop.
I usually
probably
tend to
go
pair
really well
wines
with
with fish, though. I haven't really. That'd be an interesting. I like doing like beer pairings with fish because I haven't
I'm
done
sure
that
a good
lot.
ale or a
Well, if you're doing like fish and chips, then yeah. You
Yeah, I was
just
gonna
do
say
it
Mickey's
nice-
fried,
goes
I
very
mean.
well with fried fish.
fried fish. Yes,
Yeah,
anything goes well with fried fish.
Mickey's,
God, you're gonna get like a
I've already
Chardonnay
been
with your
drunk.
filet-o-fish
Yeah,
from McDonald's.
exactly.
Yeah.
Fuck.
Now,
Just
besides
the little
that,
airline bottles.
Lowdown, what are you drinking on besides the shares?
Besides
there?
that, I'm drinking on Omegong's Fruition. It is a dry hopped wit beer brewed with passion fruit, mango, and kiwi.
Okay.
Ooh,
It's pretty
that's
damn
a
tasty.
difference.
That comes in at 5.3.
Okay.
But my find for the night, which I like better, is Avery Brewing Company's Lilikoi Capolo. It is a Belgian-style white ale brewed with spices and passion fruit. It's tropical and tart.
Nice.
It's delicious.
Okay.
I gotta say, Lowdown, you kind of reminded me a little of the Rock and Moana there.
I'm fine with that.
Like,
Can
I mean, that's not an insult.
So, and you know, in that movie, instead of doing the peck pop, he does a tattoo pop. Like, it's like a tattoo pop.
That's true. He does.
Yeah.
You're welcome.
Because you know how many times I've watched that goddamn movie in the past 2 weeks with the 3-year-old.
Oh, I'm
You should
sure.
have switched it up and do Zootopia. It's better.
Zootopia is delightful.
Right?
It is.
actually.
We
Yeah.
like
Have
Zootopia,
you met his
but right
son?
now it's Moana
Have you
only.
Did you have to live through Frozen?
No,
So
because
that you
I
don't know what you
'cause
don't
he has
know.
a
You don't
Logan
know how
was what,
hard
like-
it could be.
thank you to whatever God is there that I
Logan
did
was
not
what,
have
like
to.
2 months when that
But
came out on video? 2 months?
not a year.
Although I
a
feel
year
bad.
around
Yeah.
a year. So.
All right. So, what else is everyone drinking?
Yeah, Kyle, looks like you're also drinking on the Omegong, right?
I am. It's delicious.
Yeah. We got anybody else doing anything tasty?
I've
try this one.
I've got the usual Lennon Kugel,
The summer shandy?
the summer shandy, which is always good this time of year.
Katie Turbo and I have been drinking on that as, recently. We did actually a pack, a Leinenkugel variety pack.
Oh,
that
yeah,
had the
yeah,
summer
yeah,
shandy
that's
and had
right,
the
yeah.
watermelon shandy, which was actually really good too. That was pretty tasty.
Yeah,
This time of year.
my default is the summer one, but again, it's light enough. It's not no heaviness, so it's
Yeah.
appreciated during the warm time.
Absolutely, yeah. No, this time of year it's perfect for that kind of a beverage. So that is what we are drinking. Next up is, of course,
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
This shit show. Good God.
yeah. Let's see how this works. We're
Time to
doing
make the donuts.
we're doing making a drunken scene. Making a drunken scene.
Oh my
Every
god.
time.
We are complete idiots.
No shit.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right, so we've got 3 Stephen King adapted movies here. And the first one is from 1990. We've got the It miniseries that we're going to be doing lines from. So we've got Myke, what will be played by me. Then who's playing Bill?
Bill.
Scotty P is Bill. Richie, who's
Me.
Richie? That is the Smashy. And then Ben, who's Ben?
I've got Ben.
All right, Myke is Ben. And then Stan,
Me.
Lowdown, and Bev.
I'll also be playing Ben.
Also Myke. Okay. And then Pennywise.
That'd be me.
Danwich is the Pennywise. And is that everyone?
I believe that's it.
I
Yeah.
think so.
You doing 2 different voices there, Mike?
Absolutely.
Nice.
Good
I like
call.
it.
Good
I like,
call.
I like the cut of your jib, sir.
It's gonna
Okay.
show some range.
All right. I'm leading this shit show off here. So, It from 1990. My dad says there's no way to date this one. He says it's probably from early mid 1700s when Derry was a logging town.
Hold it. Hold it. Pennywise the clown.
That's him. That's him.
200 years ago? He was here then?
Come on. It's just a drawing.
God damn it.
You.
No, I'm sorry. He's going back to that fucking Speedy Gonzalez voice you do.
Yeah, it's good. It works.
Now look, here he is again. It's the same man.
It's not a man!
Very nice, very nice.
Well done.
It.
The scrapbook begins flapping.
That's what happened back in Georgie's room.
The scrapbook stops at a page, and the picture comes to life. The kids see Pennywise dancing.
Look!
Pennywise spots the children, growls, and climbs up to a lamppost to scare them.
Rawr. I'll kill you all. I'll drive you crazy and I'll kill you all. I'm every nightmare you've ever had. I'm your worst dream come true. I'm everything you were ever afraid of.
You got a little bit of
You switched.
I switched
you
gears.
switched it up.
Yeah, you
I
did.
did
It was
on-
nice. I like it though.
There. There.
No,
We don't got enough
Yeah.
power, Captain.
no.
Yes!
See,
Don't let it get to you, man.
You saw it too.
I didn't want to, Essie.
But you did.
Yes. Okay. If that's what you want. Yes.
Yes. That's what I wanted, you turkey.
ooh, turkey.
Gobble,
Ooh.
gobble.
All right, so that's we did that. That's
Yeah, we did that. we nailed that.
next one up is from 1994. This film that if it shows up even with commercials on TV, and I own it, but even with commercials, I'll stop what I'm doing
Yes.
and watch
Well,
this. fucking-
Fucking
Yeah.
watch this. This is number
Yeah,
one.
of
Number
course.
one adaptation in my book.
Oh, it's
Hands
up
down.
there. Yeah, the
Fucking amen.
Shawshank Redemption.
God damn.
Yep.
A lot of people actually don't know that that's adapted from a Stephen King story.
They don't because it's so like
It's not
off the beaten
traditionally
path. Yeah.
Stephen
read
King.
it.
Well,
yeah.
and that's what. Well, I think where we're gonna get into is that there's a few of them that you do not realize who that Stephen King did.
Mhm.
Even
so.
Stand By Me doesn't have a whole lot of like supernatural stuff going on or anything.
Yeah.
It's,
The Green Mile doesn't
Yeah.
really.
Yeah.
well,
he's-
it does.
I mean,
it
it's got
touches a little,
no, it's got
but-
some, but
it
it's
touches
not.
Yeah, that's more
like-
supernatural than Shawshank. Shawshank's more just like a story of a man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
he was
yeah.
kind of a
Exactly.
healer, but I mean, yeah, like it, and that's what most people who aren't like who hasn't read every book or whatever is going to associate with Stephen King.
Right.
Mhm.
Right.
That's his calling card.
So Shawshank Redemption, we've got the narrator who was Morgan Freeman in the film.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
I can't do that voice, but I will try.
You're too
Okay.
white.
Okay, a new group.
It's just gonna sound super racist if you do it.
Yeah. yeah.
It's like a new group of prisoners has arrived at Shawshank. Andy Dufresne among them, and the convicts are going fishing, taunting the new prisoners and making bets on who will break them down crying first.
Hey, Fattass. Fattass. Talk to me, boy. I know you're there. I can hear you breathing. Don't you listen to these nitwits. You hear me? This place isn't so bad. Tell you what. I'll introduce you around and make you feel right at home. I know a couple of big old bull queers that just love that fat ass.
All right.
Oh Jesus.
All right,
Brings
fat
a whole
ass.
new meaning to Cornholio.
Oh God, guys, I just don't belong here.
We have a winner. Oh, then it's Haywood.
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 Dan.
Wait a minute. Hang on. Wait.
Dude, where'd it
It's
go?
it's on the inmate line.
And it's fat ass.
You're on the wrong page.
And it's fat ass by nose.
That's why he's on the wrong page.
Oh yeah.
There you go.
Sorry.
Are we chanting?
Yeah, let's
yeah.
chat.
All right.
Fresh fish, fresh fish, fresh fish.
Fresh fish.
Oh.
Okay. All right. This is going really poorly.
This is going very bad. People ain't tighten up.
Guys, I
Tighten
want to
up.
go home. I want my mother so badly.
I had your mother. She was that great. Or she wasn't that great. This is fucking falling apart.
This is falling apart.
Yeah.
People
You
tighten
know
up.
what's fucked up is you sound like the announcer in the dinosaur train, and if you have any kids, you know exactly what I'm talking about.
Carry on. Narrator.
Narrator.
Oh.
God damn it.
Wow.
I kinda wanted to-
Why is this so hard?
I don't
Like
know.
seriously, are we
That's what she
recharged now?
said.
All of a sudden?
Where are we
That's
at?
what she said. Yeah.
After the inmate.
All right. A door in the ground floor opens, and Captain Byron Hadley and several guards walk onto the cell block.
What the Christ is this happy horse shit?
You took the Lord's name in vain. I'm telling the warden.
Nice.
You'll be telling her with my baton at your ass.
You guys gotta let me out of here. You gotta.
What is your malfunction, you fat barrel of monkey spunk?
Please. I ain't supposed to be here. Not me.
I ain't gonna count to 3. I ain't gonna count to 1. You will shut the fuck up or I will sing you a lullaby.
Narrator.
Now nervous under his breath.
Shut up, man. Shut up.
You've made a mistake. You don't understand. I'm not supposed to be here today.
Open the cell.
Is that? Yeah, that's me. Me neither. They run this place like a fucking prison.
The cell door is opened, and Captain Hadley grabs Fat Ass and drags him out into the middle of the first floor of the cell block. Taking out his baton, Hadley savagely beats the new inmate.
Son of a bitch!
Cap, take it easy.
Finally, Fat Ass is beaten into unconsciousness. The inmates who had been shouting and cheering when the guards first arrived are now silent. Putting away his baton,
If I hear so much as a mouse fart in here the rest of the night, I swear by God and Sonny Jesus, you will all visit the infirmary. Every last motherfucker in here.
to his men,
Call the trustees. Take that tub of shit down to the infirmary.
Captain Hadley and the guards leave the cell block, and the lights go off again.
His first night at Shawshank Prison, Andy Dufresne cost me 2 packs of cigarettes. He never made a sound.
It's eerie how much you sound like Morgan Freeman. Like it's weird. Like to
It's
hear,
like listening to God.
yeah, hearing an old black man's voice come out of your mouth is just
Yeah, it's a bit
just
odd.
odd. Yeah,
Bit
it's
odd.
super weird. All right, so that was a mess.
Well, the first half was a mess.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it got a
first
little
half.
better.
That got it
All
picked
right,
up.
this is a much shorter scene
Yes.
for the last
Thank
one here.
you.
Well, there was a lot of narration in the first one.
Yeah.
I think that's and also the just being on 2 pages. Remember, we're on this page, gentlemen.
Yeah.
All right.
Come on, it's like second grade. Pay attention.
Is
Okay,
that
We're
one
good.
with the letters are bigger?
Yeah, the letters
Okay.
are bigger.
Jesus
I'm not much of a
Christ.
reader.
We're doing the 1984 film Children of the Corn. Love this movie. Absolutely love this movie.
Yes.
And it was remade, wasn't it? And
It's fucking horrible. 2009. It's goddamn
Yeah,
garbage.
Oh, it's awful.
goddamn garbage.
I never even bothered.
Fuck that movie. I was so angry. I don't even know why I watched it. Honestly.
I don't know.
So we've got
You do it to yourself, Roid Rage.
Isaac. Who's playing Isaac on this one?
Me.
Kyle Smash is playing Isaac. Who's playing Malachi?
That'd be me.
That is Lowdown. And then we've got the Corn Children, which are not like the children of the people in the band Corn. That's a different thing entirely.
Dude.
No.
Yakety schmackety doo. All right.
Yeah, smack you do.
Here we go. Children of the Corn from 1984.
Behold, a dream did come to me, and the Lord did show us all this to me.
Praise God. Praise the Lord.
A time of tribulation has come. A test is at hand, the final test.
What has the Lord commanded?
In my dream, in my dream, I say, the Lord did come to me, and he was a shape. It was he who walks behind the rose, and I did fall on my knees in terror and hide my eyes, lest the fierceness of his face strike me dead. He told me all that has happened since he, Joseph, has taken his things, fled this happy place, and because of the worship of me is no more upon him. So take you his life and spill his blood like water upon the earth, but let not the fresh pollute the corn. Cast him instead upon the road.
Church.
And so it was done. Joseph the betrayer was cast out.
And he who walks behind the rose did say, I will send outlanders amongst you, a man and a woman. And these outlanders will be unbelievers and profaners of the holy, and the man will sorely test you, for he has great power, even greater than that of the blue man.
The Blue Man. Yes, the Blue Man.
And just as he offered up unto him, so shall be the unbelievers.
Make sacrifice unto him. Bring him the blood of the Outlanders.
Praise God. Praise the Lord. Praise God. Praise the Lord. All right, that is.
See, all I could picture was that tall, lanky, ginger motherfucker that was actually in the movie singing those lines.
I was trying to do, like, if I could have gotten louder, I would have done a better Jonathan Davis, but I was trying to mimic Jonathan Davis's bitchy little singing.
I was just doing an evangelist.
I was
like, I saw these evangelists on TV one
I was
day.
trying to mimic Jonathan Davis, so
I tried to sound like
I did what I
Butters.
could.
I tried to sound like Butters.
All right. So I'm glad that's done. Let's.
Yes, that is done.
That is
Malachi.
All right, back on to Stephen King. All things Stephen King. We have barely touched on what is considered probably the most beloved adaptation of a Stephen King film, or of a Stephen King book into film, that actually was not appreciated by Stephen King. We're talking Stanley Kubrick's The Shining.
He hated it.
He hated it.
Absolutely hated it.
Yeah. And
Hated it.
the weirdest part about it is critically acclaimed, and Kubrick is no slouch as far as directors went, but the major complaint was that he took some more liberties with it than Stephen King really appreciated. One thing that I felt was really lacking in the Shining, the Kubrick Shining, unfortunately, was that the hedge maze animals were not part of it, which was a thing that I loved from the book.
Yeah.
It didn't really come into play during Kubrick's, although it definitely came into play in the made-for-TV movie version that Stephen King totally signed off on.
Is that with the guy from Wings?
The guy
Yes,
from
the
Wings.
guy from Wings.
I call it the show Wings on Crack is basically that piece of shit.
Yeah.
That was horrible.
Well, and the ending was per the book in the made-for-TV one with the pogo stick going down the hallway.
So you had two details like that out of the whole shit show. Not worth it.
No, I agree. I'm much happier with the axe and Jack Nicholson's acting because it's fucking Jack Nicholson losing his shit, which he is like the master at. Fucking A, dude.
Just
the king of
the
crazy.
scene when he's walking up the stairs and
Yeah.
he's like, darling,
Yeah.
light of my life.
Jack Nicholson.
I'm not going to hurt you. I'm just going to take my bat and bash your brains in. So good.
Like Jack Nicholson
So
the fuck
fucking
out of
good.
that. It was
Oh,
God damn it.
It's like Jack Nicholson doing an impression of Jack Nicholson. Incredible.
I mean, and think
But
about
drunk.
it. Like, could you picture anybody else playing that part? I can't.
No, that's why
I
it was horrible to
seriously
see it.
cannot.
Imagine if Paul Rubens had that part. Darling.
What about Jim Carrey?
Jim Carrey.
Oh no.
Let me show
He
you
would've-
something.
It's exactly Fire Marshal Bill. He was just Fire Marshal Bill it. I'm gonna go my own direction on this one. All right.
No, what was that female exercise instructor that he did on In Living Color?
Oh, God.
Vera DeMilo.
Oh, yeah.
Vera DeMilo.
Vera DeMilo.
Look how the lips just blister.
Here's Johnny.
Not saying the kid was better in the miniseries, but Kubrick didn't know how to direct kids. That kid with the red rum finger thing was retarded in Kubrick's version.
Yeah, that was
Yeah.
pretty
It
rough.
really-
That was fucking retarded.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Well, I mean, because we've proven with Steven Spielberg can work with kids.
Yes, Kubrick, no.
Kubrick, no. But even like first time, like where did they dig up that fucking kid? He
Don't
was
know.
shitty anyways.
He makes con appearances for that one movie.
He probably really shouldn't work with children anyway. So
Well, he's not working with anybody.
no,
It's like,
Yeah.
reasons,
He worked-
just reasons.
good advice. Hopefully, he'll take up that advice.
No, he worked with Tom Cruise and Nicole Kidman
that
in a
explains
really shitty film, and then just
And that killed him.
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, in fairness, he didn't finish that film. He died before that film was actually
Yeah.
released.
Yeah, they had to
So,
kind of recut, and they did some some second team pickup shots to
We'll
kind
never
of fill it
get,
out.
More
we'll never get his
dudes.
actual final edited vision because he couldn't edit it. So
Right.
Thing is, like, that movie definitely had potential, but what it turned out was this kind of like low rent thriller kind of tone that just I don't think was the initial vision at all.
No.
No, not at all. I'm like 100% positive that's not what we were supposed
Yeah.
to see.
No,
honestly.
absolutely not.
But that's the thing when you come to somebody like Stephen King that wants to get a pretty faithful adaptation of his material, and then you get somebody like Kubrick who's like, nah. It's like, no, we got the rights, and we're like, no, but dude, it's my book, and he's like, yeah, no, but we got the rights, so like that. It's two alphas
Seriously.
like going at each other, but that's unfortunately why Stephen King back to the Wings one instead.
Oh God.
But As far as adaptations go that were actually very accurate to the book, obviously we mentioned Shawshank, but Pet Sematary was pretty much on the nose with the novel.
Yeah.
What a great film that still stands up today.
No, it doesn't really hold up.
The first one?
No.
The sister upstairs in the bed.
That's creepy, yes. That
that
one
will
scene is
always
creepy.
hold up. Not just that one scene, but that's definitely a
I'm going to
pivotal
bring
one.
it back just a step again because there was also talking about like the differences that Stephen King had. I think he kind of did like a Kevin Smith and learned early on the whole fight with that because he sued New Line Cinema about Lawnmower Man.
Ugh.
Oh.
Ugh.
That he sued them to take his
Rightfully
name
so.
off of that because the adaptation was shitty.
Mike, I believe that was from Night Shift 2, wasn't Lawnmower Man from Night
Yes.
Shift?
Yes.
Yeah, that was
Yeah.
another short story. Yeah.
Yep.
Jesus.
Yeah.
And they still tried to make it. Well, they did make a sequel to that, which was even worse.
But the funny thing with Pet Sematary is the first time that I ever saw it, I think it was about 14 or 15. Probably about 15. And anyway, I had friends that really liked weed. And I was never a big fan. I'd tried it maybe once or twice before that at that point, and just wasn't my thing. But they were girls, and they were telling me to smoke pot, so I did, because 15. And so we watched Pet Sematary for the first time, and when the kid got hit by the truck, I started laughing. Because
Oh no!
it was partly because like it was so ridiculous to me the actors acting like super like destroyed by this situation. Because I was stoned, I was just like, "This is too much."
Well, yeah, because everything got really super slow mo.
I want video of that. That's probably amazing.
Is that his shoe on the side? It's so small.
Yeah, the shoe spinning, and I was like, ah! And the girls that were there were looking at me like I was a fucking monster. They're like, what is fucking wrong with you? And I'm like,
Vagina's dried up, bro. They just shriveled up, bro.
Shriveled right up.
You cockblocked
Well,
yourself.
I think that happened before that even occurred. To tell the truth, but you know,
I was 15. I didn't know what to do with them anyway at that point. So
I mean,
Yeah.
fair. 15, yeah.
no, like any of you did.
No,
Shut
I'm
up.
saying, I'm saying fair. I'm
Yeah,
agreeing
no,
with you, bro.
yeah, it's-
I'm on your side.
Kyle was like, well,
Kyle, no, he was a fro-headed little fat fuck.
you,
He didn't know what
Playboy.
to do with
yeah.
it either.
Kyle was probably like,
I learned young.
"Is that good? Is that good? Is that good?"
No, that's my belly button.
Poke, poke,
Dumbass.
poke. It was a hole, so.
Yeah.
Anyway,
just over and over. What are you thinking about?
just real creepy, like slow, like. What are you thinking about?
What's going on in your head?
No, the scene that really got me in Pet Sematary was the Achilles heel, like,
Oh,
cutting.
yeah.
Yes.
Ugh.
Dude, anytime I see anything with an Achilles heel with that sort of
Oh, it's
Herman
nauseating.
Munster bit it.
That little
hard.
Gwyn, baby.
that little
Yeah.
kid was creepy as fuck.
Edwin.
Fred Gwynn, man.
Or Fred
And his
Gwynn,
main
yeah.
accent was on point in that movie, though.
Oh, it was.
so good.
It was.
He was
just
creepy
death
in
up
himself.
Exactly.
It was. He
He was like a
kinda made that
creepy,
movie,
safe
really.
character. It was really weird for a character to be that strange and that kind of, but still be the safe character. You know, you're not really worried about him.
But like, I loved like out of all the adaptations that happen, there are people that try to like get the main accent. Like, there's a couple people in the Mist that nail it pretty well. The Frank Darabont, Mist.
Right.
I don't know about the TV show. I haven't watched it yet.
No.
But Fred Gwynn really fucking nailed it because people don't realize that even though you're in New England, way the fuck up north, there is like a country style accent for that area, and that Stephen King always brought it into his books. So the fact that like it was latched onto for at least some of the movies was a big deal to me.
Oh yeah.
You know?
Absolutely.
Oh yeah, yeah. Pet Sematary is an absolute classic. Other classics, I mean, yeah, Misery.
Fucking A, Misery,
Yes.
dude. Dolores Claiborne, Kathy
great
Bates.
movie.
Dude, basically Kathy Bates in a Stephen King movie
Yeah,
is gold, apparently.
gold.
Yeah.
'Cause-
She plays crazy real well.
I just remembered one of the best ones, Maximum Overdrive.
Go
Maximum
fuck yourself.
Overdrive.
That fucking movie. I'm not even getting mad anymore. Like,
Let's dissect Maximum Overdrive
there's
a
no
little
need to
bit.
dissect it.
I
It
think
just
we
sucks.
should.
No. Let's talk about the fact that there is a basically Night of the Living Dead knockoff, but instead of
He's on my
zombies,
side.
it's fucking Mack trucks.
And it's a truck with the green goblin.
What I
on
really
the
want to
front of
talk
it.
about is the character development. There's something
There
about
is
Phil.
none. Emilio Estevez is a dumb redneck. Everyone else is a dumb redneck, and there's some couple sluts in there. That's pretty much the movie. That's
He's
it.
a dumb redneck with no accent and just knows how to use guns.
No, he has a really shitty accent.
The best part of that movie, and if
No, he
anybody
does.
that's
Not
listening
even an
has
accent.
has not watched Maximum Overdrive,
You
do
should.
yourself a favor.
Oh, yes.
Because holy shit, it's bad, but it's so fun. It is okay. First off, there's a fucking steamroller that like flattens a dude, There's a soda machine that starts. Apparently, they did soda machines differently in the fucking 80s because this thing is able to fucking launch soda cans at a dude and murders him. An RC Cola vending machine murders the shit out of a baseball coach.
And then RC died.
You know how many
shortly
broken nut sacks it would be if soda machines actually had done that? At the time?
God.
Oh, wow.
How many? Pepsi would be out of business probably.
You don't need a spring-loaded dispensing agent. Like all the machines I know of, they just drop down.
I'll catch
Like,
it in my mouth.
after. And it's a pain in the ass to even try to get it out.
Oh, don't forget about the sweet AC/DC van in the beginning.
Yes.
Oh, and the whole
because
soundtrack.
They did the whole soundtrack.
Exactly.
Who made who? The setting is pretty cool too. Classic Americana.
Yeah, it's a classic diner. The best part, though, Oh,
There's so many to choose from.
No, it's fucking magic. It's when that one woman goes out. Well, the trucks are circling, and she's just like screaming at him. She's
Yes.
like, fuck you, and just like mad and just like done with it. And they're like, get in here, you're gonna die. And she's like, no, I'm not. And then she gets totally fucking killed. It's just like right away. Like there's no time wasted. And the whole time she's this like fake angry where it's like, I hate trucks. Like, fuck.
Flicking them off and shit.
First off,
how do you flick off a truck?
Flipping off I understand flipping off a person in a truck because I've done that a bunch. But like
A truck.
But a truck, what is it? It's not going to flip back. Like
It can honk at you.
yeah, I'm pretty sure those trucks got their feelings pretty hurt. It was like, you know what? I thought this was just just a normal like personifying automobiles to go on a murderous rampage type of situation. But then she made it personal when she flipped us off. And now I'm mad.
But don't forget about there was peace that was brokered in order for them to fill up gas into the vehicles that were
correct,
surrounding the diner.
Yeah, well, you know, they couldn't do it themselves
I
because
know.
they're just fucking machines.
Yeah.
Oh, to be fair, and Shamalama Ding Dong stole this was where a lawnmower killed someone too. Remember that? That was always a good scene.
What's happening?
The nothing's happening.
Shyamalan.
Yeah, the nothing
happening.
happened.
Do you need a Night Shyamalan?
Well, he
My
lays
Night?
down in front of the lawnmower.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But in
And they don't even show it though. You didn't see him get torn to shreds. You just
No.
Let's not go into that.
It's
Asshole.
It's a glorious movie that really should be appreciated for being just complete and total schlock.
And rebooted.
Absolutely.
And completely rebooted. I don't understand why they wouldn't do that.
I mean,
It makes perfect sense to me.
you know who needs to do it? Because it would be a hell of a time, and you get Danny Trejo to play Emilio Estevez's character.
Okay,
You
I'm
get,
on for that.
you get Robert fucking Rodriguez to do a maximum.
Yes, yes. I would be all over that. Dude, my dick just got so hard.
Produced
so
by
hard.
Produced by Tarantino, like from Dust
yeah.
Till Dawn,
Dude, that would be
Dawn
so
style.
much. That would be fun
See,
as fuck. Okay.
See,
Imagine, Rodriguez doing a grindhouse style maximum.
Yeah,
Yes.
there's,
Yes.
there's like
Fuck.
a true pulp.
That would be-
Rodriguez, please listen to our podcast.
Holy shit.
What have you
man.
done lately? Seriously.
basically, think Machete, but with killer trucks.
Yeah, it'd be great. It'd be amazing.
I mean, that would be
Does that mean you're
awesome.
going to have a lot of lowriders?
I just want to see Danny Trejo like get on top of one of the trucks with a giant like Gatling gun and just fire down into the engine.
Dude,
Dude,
yes. See, that
Because
kind of
somehow a
ridiculous I can get
Gatling
behind.
gun ends up in a diner in the middle of nowhere.
well, no, rednecks. It's fine.
Okay, sure,
Be like,
sure.
I brought it for hunting, and people are like, okay, that's
Well, no,
probably right.
This would take place south of the border, so it's just like, cartel, like,
Ooh, you're
drug
talking
smuggling.
like a Tijuana
Oh,
Mexican.
Yes.
Okay.
Right?
Okay.
Come on, dude. Oh, that'd be so good.
It takes place at the Titty Twister.
No, but all the dead trucks in the back, whatever's still operational in any way, start coming to life.
Yeah.
Oh,
That
that would-
tire pit behind
Dude.
it.
yes.
That's the tie in there. Now don't go in the Tate Twister, just show behind it.
Dude,
They're all start
so
coming
we can
to life.
do like a Rodriguez universe inside of a Stephen King thing, and it'd be like a universe inside of a universe because Titty Twister.
We're getting so fucking
Do you
meta
see
right
this?
now.
right? We're so fucking mind blown.
Yeah.
Done.
So
That's
that's
it.
that's a
Okay.
done deal.
That's
yeah,
done.
Let's shop
That's it.
that
Start
shit.
writing it right now.
Yeah, no shit. Like seriously, let's send him a screenplay. Here you go, bro.
That's a better fucking pitch than probably what happened for the original Maximum Overdrive. It's like
true.
picture Night of the Living Dead.
No, because
but
what they
with
did,
trucks.
no, what they did with the original, all they did is be like, Emilio.
I got a cousin that's roommates with a friend of another cousin who knows someone in AC/DC, bro.
Yeah.
They could do the soundtrack.
No, basically with Emilio Estevez and AC/DC, the producer's like, I've got Coke, and they're like, cool, let's do this. Let's get it
Do
going.
you know your lines? Not really. Just keep going.
Yeah.
But
Keep it away from your
we
AIDS-riddled
mentioned
brother.
we mentioned Shawshank, and that's Frank Darabont, but we also have The Green Mile and The Mist. Like basically every amazing, stellar 5-star Stephen King movie has been Frank Darabont.
Yep, pretty much.
Yeah.
I mean that's it. Like
It's also
to
the
say.
source material in which he chose to take from.
That is
too,
true.
so-
That is true.
Now, I
Absolutely.
had one pet peeve about Green Mile, and I loved it. Like
Shut
I actually
your fucking mouth. How about that?
I have one pet peeve about it, and honestly, it's not that big of a deal as far as the grand scheme of the movie itself is concerned. Okay, in the book, all the events take place in 32. All right, the movie takes place in 35 and then 99. So it's basically just a 3-year difference between the timelines,
Okay.
and not a huge thing just from a it's just a couple years perspective. But Shawshank took place during the heart of the Great Depression.
yes.
Okay, and 3 years in the eyes of the Great Depression is a significant in general. So I mean, it's somebody being seriously worried about their job, which was a main thing, especially when you have a just a cunt of a character like Percy.
God,
All right.
but he was the son, so he was family. He wasn't going anywhere.
Correct. Like,
But also people putting up with it because they needed that job.
Yeah.
Yeah.
exactly.
Oh yeah.
So it's a huge difference.
That's actually a good insight. I like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's not something that you really think about a whole lot when watching the movie, but yeah, it would make a difference between 32 and 35.
Yeah. No, it would. You're right.
Yeah.
The backdrop has its own effect.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
If you're looking
Absolutely.
for it.
And I get why they did it, because it was actually released at the end of 99. It was more of a build-in to the new, to 2000 coming right around the corner, and like all that kind of happening. But it's always been something that has just kind of
Bothered you a bit.
bothered me
Yeah,
just a little
yeah.
bit.
Grind your gears.
Yeah.
Jesus.
All I gotta say is that's Sam Rockwell Doe.
Yes.
That's it.
Right.
That's Sam
God, yeah.
Rockwell. Like,
Yes.
God damn it, he was. There was a great cast. I'm sorry, but like him for some reason just I don't know.
Dude,
it was
that
amazing.
guy for what? How many times has he played the main actor? Hardly any.
No.
But his side characters, I've always blown away a fucking movie or whatever he's doing.
Truth.
I mean,
Yeah, and William Sadler too. I mean, he's been in 2 phenomenal Stephen King adaptations.
yeah.
Yeah.
You had Shawshank, and then you turn around and he's the dad who gets his children butchered and raped and killed by Wild Bill.
Oh.
Yeah. And The Mist.
And the mess.
And he was in the mist.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
right. Yeah. Which, let's talk about The Mist for a minute.
Yes.
Now, has anybody actually seen the TV series
I
that they
have
did on
not.
Saturday?
Look at
I
you,
have
Mike.
not.
Have you watched it?
I haven't seen the TV series yet. The movie's
Okay.
phenomenal.
Yeah, I've not
Yeah.
seen
Yeah,
the
the
series
movie's
yet.
great. The movie's
I was really
awesome.
hesitant about them doing a series in the first place because as much as I love The Mist and I like the idea of like alternate dimension shit happening and very Lovecraftian type shit going down.
Yeah.
Yes. But does it require a whole series is the question.
I think they're justifying it because they made sure on like especially the early previews of it is that it's a adaptation that it's not a
True to form.
a true
faithful-
like taking directly from the book. They're
Okay.
taking the basis of
It's
it.
a re-envisioning.
Thank you.
Yes.
That's the actual
Not a-
word
yeah.
I was looking for. Thank you.
So do you think they'd be ballsy enough to throw in elements of the movie and try to connect those universes like Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. and the Marvel movies? Like maybe have the Man in Black mentioned a couple times in the TV show? just to-
Probably not. Probably
I know
No.
it's
No.
stretching
No.
it, but you
Well,
could do
it's-
that very easily.
It wouldn't be the Man in Black. It'd be Thinnies. That's like the
Thinnies,
portal that
okay.
they. That's
The
right.
Thinnies,
right,
that's
Mike?
right.
It's the
Yeah,
Thinny that
it is.
opened up. Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
yeah.
With The Mist, what was nice for me is that I went into it not being sure what to expect because Stephen King adaptations tend to be kind of a hit or miss situation. They're
Yeah.
either like knock out of the park, Shawshank or Green Mile, or they're the Langoliers or the Tommy Knockers or the
Knockin'.
Golden Years,
Yeah.
or sometimes they come back.
Tommy
I
Knockers.
liked that movie. All right.
Sometimes
I'm
they
sorry.
come back?
Sometimes they come back
Back
again.
again.
Yes.
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 Yeah.
Sometimes they still come back.
Or the
That's
Golden
third
Years
one.
10
Sometimes
years
they come
later.
back angrier.
there's a lot of really bad adaptations and even bad movies based on Stephen King stuff, but I'm not talking about Maximum Overdrive and that.
Running Man.
Oh, that was fun for.
They basically took a general a nugget of the concept and the title, and that was it.
I want to talk about it because probably unlike any of you guys, I didn't see the movie until I was in my 20s.
Yeah,
and I had not read the story, so I didn't know anything about it. This whole fear of clowns or the It's amazing and the nostalgia behind it, I didn't get any of that. So when I watched the movie, I watched it with just fresh perspective, and the movie is awful.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm saying I'm gonna pull it in because we didn't actually get to your point on the mist.
Yeah, we didn't actually get.
Oh,
to
I'm
the
sorry.
mist. Yeah, no, it's okay. We'll talk about.
I do want to talk about it because the
after
remake's
that.
coming up. So.
Yeah.
But with the TV series, I don't really feel like it's necessary because I think all that needed to be said from that story was said in the Durban adaptation. And going in not knowing what to expect, and then not being a very big Thomas Jane fan. I'm just not particularly a fan of his. I don't hate him, just not really that into it. Blew me away. Absolutely blew me away. Fantastic film. Good pacing. Even the slow parts, there was reason for it, and I felt good about the pacing there. It was very suspenseful, which a lot of movies seem to forget that that's a thing you can do. The Hitchcock school is out the window nowadays. Everything needs to be fast-paced as fuck.
What the fuck, man?
There was a lot of scenes where there was build-up, and you're just anticipating what's gonna happen, and you know it's coming, and you're just waiting for it to happen, and it's and then it finally goes down, and it pays off. That's the trick, is you got to make sure it pays off with all that suspense.
Actually,
best scene of the movie. Sorry. Well, best scene of the movie is when they're in their garage and they're trying to get the garage door open in the back.
Yeah.
And they get it open just a little bit, and the mist starts coming through, and then unexpectedly, tentacle comes, the gets taken down, but it's the tentacle with teeth, so it's everything's just getting ripped off, piece by. I mean, it was just gory, but it was really well done.
And there's two things that I think Darabont, that were done to the one was done to the movie, and the other one was what Darabont did differently was he made the ending a lot darker. So he surpassed Stephen King.
Yes.
Because in the novel,
yeah.
that didn't happen. The dude shot his own fucking kid and then found out he didn't have to. That's fucked up, man.
Yeah.
So Darabont took it to the next level there. And then you had the black and white version, which is really fun to watch if you haven't watched the black and white version.
No, I haven't actually.
It's really fun to watch the black and white version.
I'm sure. Yeah, that sounds like it'd be a good.
It's like a Miss Noir kind of thing. Because everything looks different done that way.
Yeah, well, the same thing with Logan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Everything, the scenes just look different. So
It's got a heavier
It does
hand.
give you a different, for instance, when they go into the pharmacy and the drugstore scene, that whole scene is really dark. It kind of lightens up a little bit. And you see a lot more fucked up shit that they did to the actual set, which is really cool.
Okay.
You know? You get a lot more of that because the spider had babies and all that shit.
Oh, yeah.
Fuck.
All right, we got to get moving because we don't have a whole lot of time left, actually, and we barely touched on a lot of this
Oh,
stuff.
jeez.
So the Tommy Knockers are next.
No, well,
No,
it.
no.
I'm just
No,
kidding.
we
We were
I'm
going to
kidding.
talk about it, right?
Yeah.
Yes, let's talk about it. Yes.
Yeah.
And I need to disagree with you on that, Kyle.
Which aspect?
The fact that you hated it. But here's the thing: I'd watched that when it came out in 1990. I was pretty much the same age of those kids, in the story.
Mm-hmm.
So it was a completely different perspective for me. It's I wasn't at the age where, I was a new kid going to the circus or anything like that, where things would
Pop out at you and be like, "Oh shit,
Correct.
that was amazing."
Correct. Yeah, but at the same, because I'd seen my share of horror movies and stuff by the time I was 12 years old. But it still just creeped the shit out of me. Even on TV. I mean, think if it had been released in a movie back then.
Oh, it would have been way worse.
Oh, yeah.
Which, from my aspect, I was expecting it to be more of the bloody gore type stuff. It wasn't until I rewatched it later of just sitting there going, "Oh God, that is fucking yeah." You know, as a 12-year-old watching the 12-year-old kids, it's just yeah, I could do that. I could slingshot a rock at Pennywise and beat him, and yeah, and he's a mean clown. And then you grow up and you're like, ugh, I could never, fuck that.
Yeah, I think for the time it worked remarkably well to do the very, very subtle touches of horror. And I mean, the special effects are not great, not exciting. But
No.
just watching that balloon inflate it through the sink, and you're just like, oh goodness, this won't end well. And sure enough, it doesn't. The floor stretching.
The Chinese food.
Yes.
The Chinese
Oh,
food.
the eyeball with the...
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I give him an A for effort, but from my
Well,
perspective, no.
1990 on primetime
television,
TV.
yeah,
Yeah,
remarkable.
it was actually really good for the time.
Right.
So
Well,
It
the
is very
story is
true.
very creepy. So I always appreciated the story for what they tried to tell, but I couldn't get past how shitty it was because I had watched it so late in life. So my perspective was like, God, I've already seen like a million great movies. This is shitty. But I kind of like the story. It's cool.
yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I would like to see like just an adaptation of it where it's like, all right, this is what we would have done if we had released it in theaters.
Yeah.
I seriously think it was like a concept.
Well, like
that
Superman
they
Lives?
just like what?
Just a different
No.
darker version of it.
No.
One thing that I hope is going to come, and I said earlier in the first half with the 2 Stephen King movies come out this year, The Dark Tower, and then we have a remake, is, we get a Stephen King universe going on. And one thing that needs to be remade, not that the original was bad, but just with today's technology, I think, and having an actual the Man in Black to be able to go across the universes, The Stand.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
It needs a
Yes,
big
I
budget.
agree.
It needs a big budget remake, man. Like so bad.
I actually very much enjoyed the.
No, I love it.
the
Gary
series.
Sinise,
The miniseries was great.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Fucking guy who played the Randall Flagg. I forget his name.
Oh, I
he actually
can't-
had a feather in his hair, which is something they do in the book, but I didn't actually expect to see it in the fucking
Yeah.
miniseries.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because,
Something that does not translate well.
because isn't Randall Flagg basically
He's the Man in Black.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's an interpretation
Yes.
for that story.
He's
of-
that. No, he is the Man in Black in that universe.
Okay.
Like in that reality.
Gotcha.
It's a different
Okay.
plane of existence.
See, that's where I've missed out on the Dark Tower.
It's through a
and, like,
different
learning
door,
about some of
and
this
then
stuff.
you have The Stand.
Okay. Okay.
It's really cool how they tie all that together with how he travels through, and
Okay.
it's really badass.
Yeah.
But you know what I want to see in that as what's his Trash Man?
Trash Can Man.
Trash Can Man. Fucking Crispin Glover. Boom.
Yes.
Oh,
Fucking
that would
Crispin
be
Glover.
awesome.
He would nail the shit out of that part.
yeah,
he would.
That fucking weirdo.
Right?
God
Exact
damn.
roles
Yes.
But
Stephen
that dude,
King-esque.
Trash Can Man is fucking weird.
Yeah. Honestly, the guy that played him though, it was.
No, it was
We're
good.
talking about Max Headroom that
Yeah.
played Trash Can Man.
It was good.
He's
But
been in
it-
a lot of other stuff though too.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
He was an evil scientist in the Generation X X-Men
the
TV
TV
pilot.
movie
Oh,
pilot.
yes.
Yes.
God, that's
What about the other guy from what was it? Wings doing the dummy? Wasn't he like
you talk about
in
Tim
Wings?
Daly.
Moon.
Yeah, Moon. That spells.
No, he was
Oh,
from Coach.
No, he's from Coach.
Coach. That's right. He's from
Yeah.
Coach.
Oh,
and,
yeah.
and How I
I
Met
mean,
Your
Wings-
Mother.
Bull or Butch or
Wings,
whatever.
Coach, whatever.
whatever.
Yeah, same difference.
Yeah.
Yeah, for an adaptation that worked within some really serious limitations on budget, content, etc., and it feels like they really had to compress the final section of the novel, the performances hold up remarkably well. The guy who played Lloyd Henry, the assistant to Randall Flagg,
Yes.
just wonderful as a guy who's
Yeah.
like evil, but also scared of where this is going.
Yeah,
Right,
he
exactly.
realizes like, oh no, this is like more fucked up than I could imagine. Like what I want, this is way beyond that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And watching Nadine lose herself as like the story progresses, beginning as a sweet innocent and then finally just
Sweet
a
innocent,
monster.
sweet innocent with
Oh,
big
yeah.
titties though.
Oh yeah.
That
Oh,
actress,
right.
What's she?
So the
What
character
show
went
was she
Breaking
in?
Bad.
Shit.
What's that show with what's his face? David Spade. She was in that show.
Oh, not news radio.
The one before that.
Was she in Frasier?
No.
No, David Spade.
It wasn't Roz.
Was it the
No,
one about the
it was-
magazine?
So yeah, the magazine.
Yeah, it was like
yeah,
a magazine.
magazine one.
Yeah.
Just Shoot Me.
God, Just Shoot Me.
Yeah,
Just
yeah,
Shoot Me.
yeah.
She was in that.
Yeah.
'Cause I remember when I saw that, I'm like, God damn, her titties are big. 'Cause she has huge fucking tits.
God
man.
damn, her titties are
Then
I
you
think
got
she was
Steve-
also in Pretty Woman. I think
Yeah,
she
she,
was like
she played
was
Julia Roberts' friend in
Yeah.
Pretty Woman.
But then
the other
I
prostitute.
know exactly.
The other
what
cool
you're
Yeah,
talking
thing-
about.
the other prostitute.
the other cool thing about The Stand, it had, which is featured in many Stephen King movie adaptations, is Stephen King showing up.
Oh, of course.
Yes.
You know, he's actually
Stan
traveled.
Lee.
He actually gets him to was it grandma's house? What's that lady's name in the book? The black lady. Yeah, like the
Mother
Nexus.
something.
Oh,
Henrietta,
yeah.
I think.
No, not Henrietta. Henrietta was Evil Dead.
Like Mother Maybell or something.
Mother's, yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
he,
something like that.
He
Yeah.
traveled, but it's like he does that in a lot of his movies. He does
Yeah.
the Hitchcock thing where he
Yeah,
shows up,
Hitchcock's the shit out of
which
it.
I
yeah.
love. I'm perfectly okay with that. Like,
Well, he was a main character in the
Creepshow.
In Creepshow with the asteroid that comes
The
down.
meteor.
Right.
Meteor.
Yes.
Yeah, the
Meteor.
meteor. Yeah.
He's
Burn,
that's the
uh,
opening scene, right? That's
Blows
the-
his own head off, dude. It was
Yeah.
so great.
as a big green mutant like plant thing.
Moss.
Yeah.
Moss.
It was the moss.
The moss.
Yes.
Yeah.
It actually looked like a like one of those dramatizations from the old VHS like sci-fi series that they made up for Men in Black, where they were
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
They did
With
dramatizations.
Peter Graves.
Yeah, it totally looked like something out of there.
But, I mean, he was the minister of the graveside in Pet Cemetery.
I knew he did like a minister
That's
for.
right.
He was the boss in the hallucination in Langoliers. Remember,
Oh
he
yeah,
was the
yeah,
boss.
yep.
I think I
Yeah.
blocked that movie out.
I mean, the movie is pretty fucking terrible.
Cannonball with teeth.
You know, he doesn't do every movie, but he is in a significant amount of his movies.
And let's call the sweet cameo from Sons of Anarchy.
Yeah, I
Oh,
mean,
yeah.
it's Sons of Anarchy.
You know, it's
Sons of Anarchy was Stephen King, man. Like,
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
seriously.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Well, just the fact that the type of character that he played
Yeah, yeah.
in Sons of
A
Anarchy.
cleaner?
Yeah,
A cleaner.
Yeah. He's like, what body? And leaves the room.
Yeah.
You know, it's just like, all right, done.
Sweet.
Yeah.
He takes a piece of furniture as his payment.
Yeah, exactly. Here's $200 cash and take whatever you want from the house.
I'll take this lamp.
A lamp, a statue, and cash, and leaves. Cool.
Yeah.
All right.
Brilliant.
He's good, man.
Well,
He's good.
unfortunately, we're closing in on the tail end of this episode. We did not even get close to talking about as much as we wanted to on this episode. But when we're talking about a writer and creator that's been doing it since the
50
60s,
years.
yeah,
50 years.
50 years. He's been doing this. There's no way we're going to touch that in a hour and a half, 2 hour podcast.
That's a
so
series.
we didn't touch the Dark Tower much at all, aside from its involvement
tie-ins.
with tie-ins with other stuff. Mainly because the next episode after the one you're hearing right now, we're doing a Dark Tower the movie and Dark Tower book episode on its own. That series, it's big enough, and it is the main source that all these other books tie into, or most of
Majority,
them do. Majority
yeah.
do.
Yep.
So it needs its own episode. So we might touch on some other Stephen King stories in relation to the Dark Tower on that episode. But for now, we're going to have to do some kind of revisiting. We're going to brainstorm and talk about part 2 of some type about Stephen King. So stick around and pay attention to our social media for that. Listen, please, to our Dark Tower episode releasing next week. And thank you for the use of Little Girl by the Gojira Experiment on the intro, and for the use of Dead by Dawn by the Creepazoids on the outro. Remember, follow us at GUIPodcast.com and check out our trivia every first and third Monday at Fallout and every second and fourth Tuesday at Wonderland. As always, join us or die.
Maximum Overdrive.
Shut the fuck up, Hobbit.
Join us or die, or I will swallow your soul. Necronomicon gives us power to rise from the dead. You play to take, or play against the spread. You can fight all you want, cause you felt to resist. We're here to take the world and rule with an iron fist. So join us or die, join us or die, or I will swallow your soul.
GUIPodcast.com.